Angel Orsini.
This is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only.
This is Dirty Dutch Mantel.
This is Liz Savage.
This is Vinny O'Brien, 2010 Golden Glove champion.
This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
You got it. Greetings, good evening. How you doing? Welcome into your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, live from the Full Range Entertainment Studios in beautiful Birmingham, USA. A little bit wet, a little bit cloudy, a little bit overcast. Still feels like a springtime day in Alabama for some reason. Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel, welcoming in tag team partners Mark Mabo Bowman.
Lady Justice, can I come inside of you?
And I'd like to welcome back, long time no talk to, actually since the end of the year episode. Been trying to get him back on. Glad to have him back with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Brooks Logan in the house.
All right, glad to be back. Of course, I guess we can make this my actual return to the Beyond Ringside show. Looking forward to it, of course. So glad to be back on with you guys.
Well, the door has always been open. I'm glad to see situations have worked out to where you could come back in. It's greatly appreciated. Good to have you on the team, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, allegedly, our favorite word, of course, and by the way, for all of you listening on the first time, yes, we are broadcasting live through BeyondRingside.com. Also, for those who have Ustream, if you're on smartphones, you can get the Ustream app available for BlackBerry and Android. I am not sure if iPhone has one, but I do understand that it does have one. Cool. Okay.
Yes.
I learn something new every day. But I also know some people that were also listening through the Ustream feed by just simply going to BeyondRingside.com and clicking the link. It'll open up in QuickTime on their iPhone. So great to find everybody. Our chat room, the primary chat room, is open at BeyondRingside.com. It is a Java-based chat, easy to get into. Just set your screen name. If you have a personal or business Ustream, letter Ustream account at Ustream TV, you are more than welcome to log into your Ustream account. We have a chat room going through there as well. It's letterustream.tv/channel /beyond-ringside-live. It is all pretty simple. Before we kick things into gear, and we're going to hold the word allegedly for a couple minutes because this is a definite, I want to give a very special thank you to David Elder, Matt Lavelle, to Jamie, to everybody with Strike Hard Productions. I had a blast last night at the Strike Hard SHP 21 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama at the Killer Buzz Arena. Great to run into some old friends, make some new acquaintances, and make some new friends while I was at it. Great to see a good friend of the show, Fred Core Weaver, in the house last night representing Champions MMA. He wasn't fighting. He was there in support of his teammates. Also, the big ticket, Walt Harris, had a great chance to hang out with him and catch up. Of course, a lot of great gyms, a lot of great dojos represented last night. Everybody from Champions, Spartan, Headhunters, more than I've got active brain cells. Also, great to see Chris Mize last night and Ash Rivers, two of the most respected officials. They were doing both the ISCA amateur matches as well as MMA Global Solutions, as well as the professional matches for the Alabama Athletic Commission. Also had a chance to put faces with the voices. Had a chance to finally sit down, or at least in passing sit down and say hi to Brandon Owens, the executive director of the Alabama Athletic Commission. Had a chance to speak with him for a couple of seconds last night. Also, gentlemen who were on the show last week, Nick Smiley, professional MMA fighter, as well as John Richard. Had a chance to speak with both of those gentlemen last night. Could know them a little bit better in person. Great to see everybody. Of course, one of our best friends here on the show, Vicky Jackson. Always great to see you. Rick, Tina Peel, great to hang out with y'all for a little while last night. So many people that I really had a chance to get to know and get to talk to and get to hang out with. That's why you owe it to yourself to get out and about. Whether you're a wrestling fan, mixed martial arts fan, boxing fan, it doesn't matter. When you get a chance to go to a live event, wherever you may be, you never know who you're going to run into, and you owe it to yourself.
Hey, Eddie.
Yeah,
Eddie.
Go ahead.
Was Vicky's niece there?
Honestly, I don't remember. She didn't say anything about her.
Damn it.
But in all sincerity, like I said, a tremendous time last night. 11 great matches, and they ran the full gauntlet. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the broadcast. There is a chance that Vicki Jackson may be joining us around 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. And at the top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen, we are scheduled to be joined by professional wrestling superstar Nigel McGuinness, the one, the only. Glad to have him on board. We originally were talking before the first of the year. He said that his schedule was way cluttered at that point, and believe me, I can respect and appreciate that as much as anybody can, especially if you know my schedule. And I got back with him about a week and a half ago, and he said, be more than happy to come on. And he's got a brand new DVD documentary called The Last of McGuinness. We're going to have a chance to find out a little bit more about that and find out what all Nigel's up to in just a little while. Also at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock our time, 7 o'clock Eastern, good friend of the show, Mark Grayson with Georgia Wrestling Fans. Also has a brand new website called the 5minutemark.com. Is going to be joining us for the Georgia Wrestling Report, so definitely stick around for our friends over in the Peach State. Got some great information on the way in your direction. Taking it from reality to allegedly, maybe you know, allegedly TNA and Impact have a pay-per-view coming up in the next few minutes.
And allegedly, I'm not going to be watching it.
No, realistically, I'm not going to be able to watch it because we're going to be busy doing a radio show. Brooks, have you had a chance to find out whether this is rumor or truth that TNA is hosting Genesis in a little while?
I don't know. Are they? I mean, I guess
Phil
it's scheduled.
I don't know if Phil Collins signed with TNA.
Hmm?
I didn't know Phil Collins had signed with TNA.
Susudio.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them to sign him if given an opportunity. They will try anything they can.
They'll
fail miserably.
Look, I'm just trying to say that this is the world we live in.
Now, maybe,
and these are the hands we were given.
there you go. It is a land of confusion, my friends. And that is still one of the coolest videos of all time. I don't care who says what. It's like watching Star Wars. Remember now.
You're not going to equate that to Star Wars. No.
I can for one reason.
It's a cool video, but you're not going to equate it to Star Wars.
I can in one regard. And I'll make it good, I promise.
Now, do you mean the government Star Wars that Reagan tried to, that he put into play? Yes, then you could do that. But the George Lucas, now Disney-owned films, no.
Yeah, Disney's going to screw him up even more.
No. Oh, Eddie.
At least if I'm going to produce them, I'm going to keep the original ending on the damn thing.
Eddie.
Yes.
You want to know the vomit-inducing ending to TNA Impact?
Sure. Okay. Before we go into that, Mabo and I were discussing. Brooks, have you had a chance to catch Impact this week?
Yes, I did watch it Thursday.
Okay, Brooks, don't say nothing.
All right.
I made it about 2/3 the way through the show, to be honest with you. I was trying to watch it about 4 o'clock in the morning Friday morning when I was getting ready to try to crash to go to get ready to go for double duty on Friday. And D-U-T-Y, not Mabo's D-O-O-D-Y. And I did not see the end, and Mark's been razzing me about this the whole time, so I haven't watched it, the ending that is, and I haven't checked the cheat sheets and the reviews, so therefore I'm going into this blind, so Mabo, take it. He's trying. He's vomiting there. Was it worse than the craptastic ending to the final Raw of the year?
Oh. All right. First of all, I'm just going to do my own brief overview of the show.
Okay.
The gut check with Brian Cage and Jay Bradley, aces and 8 guys. First of all, that looked like, and it did not look like it belonged on TV. It looked like more of a indie wrestling match. I'm just going to be honest with you. It did not look like it was. I mean, it wasn't sloppy or nothing. There was a little bit, but it looked like it belonged. It looked like it belonged on TV at 1 a.m. on some local affiliate.
Okay.
But there was some other really good stuff. But okay, so you saw the drama with Brock and Bully and
yes,
Hulk, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try not to retch. Which, by the way, can I point out that if you marry the boss's daughter in WWE, you get to run the company in about another 10 years.
You get a corner office, yeah.
If you hook up with the boss's daughter in Impact, you get suspended.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Sting calls out Mike Knox, and they do a thing and the stuff. And Aces and Eights comes out, and they've got Brock hostage. Oh, and by the way, no, it was Kurt. It was Sting and Kurt. Sting. Yes. So this was after Kurt got smacked in the back of the head with a hammer. So Aces and Eights come out, and they got, Brock hostage, and Bully comes down and makes the save, and they're in the ring, and Hulk's in the ring, and Sting's in the ring, and there's the King of the Ring. All right, Eddie, this is the part where I need you to take a sip of your beverage and try to clear your throat and settle your stomach.
I'm good to go. Let's do it.
Bully gets down on one knee and proposes to Brooke.
You're crap. Oh, please.
Brooks, you want to take this?
No, you covered it word for word, exactly what happened. He got down, proposed a marriage to Brooke. She said yes, didn't she?
Here's what I found kind of... Go ahead, Brooks.
Well, I was just going to say, of course, as in the world of wrestling, they would like to get married in the ring next week.
Yeah, immediately. Not let's plan out anything. It was like an immediate shotgun.
No planning. No planning. No wedding coordinator.
Are they trying to run an outlaw show or something?
What?
They're trying to run an outlaw show as a nationally televised product. Hey, we're going to get married.
They're not trying. They're doing a good job of that.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job. But here's the thing. First of all, I thought when you proposed to someone, you had to wait for them to say yes before you put the ring on their finger.
Right. That's what I was saying.
I did.
Yes or not?
Yeah, he put it on there, but she said yes afterwards. But
yeah. I found that weird too. He went in and slid it on.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say this. At least, I mean, Bully didn't go all mushy or whatever. He didn't go like lovey mushy. He still kind of kept the facade of the badass.
Yo, hooker, let's get married.
Well, he sat there and he said, he's like, I'm not normally good with stuff like this or whatever, but. And then, of course, Hulk he started doing the bristling mustache kind of thing that he does when he used to Hulk up. So, yeah, there you go. And I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. Go ahead and put this out on the table. I'm going to say Aces and Eights breaks up the marriage, and it's going to turn out that Hulk secretly paid them to break up the marriage, to stop the ceremony.
I don't think he has the money left after the divorce with Linda. Now, by the same token, you want to talk about we're talking about the ridiculous. Just let's go to the absolute humorous, and this is something that nobody's really talked about, the fact that on Monday Night Raw, first show of the new year, within 5 minutes of the show open, John Cena managed to not only make the reference to the first wiener joke of the year, AJ's first wiener joke, but he managed to get the damn wave started and kept it going 3 times around the arena, kids. Now remember, the wave was big in the 80s. I remember this. Technically, it's before Mabo's time, before Brooks' time, and almost before Wicked Nemesis' time, right, Wick?
Eddie, I'm older than Wicked.
Was a joke, Mabo. I figured that would be a good goad for Wicked Nemesis. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis on the panel this afternoon. Good to have you, man.
You have the worst toss twos in the history of sports entertainment.
Thank you.
The worst transitions.
Well, I ain't worried about it. I don't have to worry about it. It's kind of like the comments you made back in the locker room, but we're not going to discuss that. I just have too much fun thinking about that one. That was just funny as hell. Now, how do we manage to get so many in the first full week of the nationally televised programs, some of the most ridiculous situations coming into play? Wicked, I'll go to you first.
What?
The most ridiculous situations on the nationally televised products. How do we get that in the first week of the year?
Because it's the same crap they did the end of last year and the year before that, the year before that. Wrestling's not going to change. As many people bitch about it and everything, it's never going to change. Never, ever, ever.
And the terminology won't change either. Mabo, your thoughts. From the ridiculous to the sublime.
What do you mean ridiculous? I mean, other than the whole Hogan Bully Ray thing, I mean, what else is ridiculous? I mean, it's pretty much par for the course. It's kind of like what Wicked said. I mean, nothing changes, dude. I mean, it's not now. Ridiculous would be bringing back the gobbledygooker and putting the title on him. That would just be ridiculous.
Manitar.
Hey! You leave Mantar alone. All right, him and Matt Denton. All right, I will be the personal ball boy. Okay, but besides the point, you can't really say anything's ridiculous. Big E Langston's haircut, that's ridiculous. But, The Rock thinking that he can come out there and do his tired old shtick and CM Punk shutting him down, that's not ridiculous. That was awesome.
Now, the shtick in my humble opinion, for as obvious as it was that something was going to happen, because Dwayne is worse on the setups than I am, and that's a truth. Obviously, he needs his stuff written more than I do, and I don't really write stuff, which is very incredibly frickin' obvious. Go from there when Sandow's or the Rhodes Scholars music hits, and they come sauntering down to ringside. It's like, didn't I just have a flashback of Sandow or Heath Slater in the Legends, but now it's Cody and Damian who have their opportunity to do the tag team division against Triple H? Rock destroying the number one contenders for the tag team titles inside of 1 minute with basically 1.5 moves. Okay. But other than that, personally, I thought the segment was actually nicely done. I really don't have a qualm with the content of the segment. The execution, however, was leaving a little bit to be desired. Brooks, your thoughts?
I haven't got to see Raw for this week, so I don't know exactly what all I missed. But to your question, why would it? We're not. Wrestling is, even though the year may change, we may have a new year. Nothing. It's just like any other week for wrestling. They're gonna pick up right where they left off at the end of the year. For them to do ridiculous, outlandish stuff like TNA doing the marriage proposal and stuff like that. That's what they've done for the past 5 or 6 years. So, no New Year's resolutions for them to make things better. So they just pick up right where they left off. But as far as what happened on Raw, I unfortunately haven't got a chance to see it for this week. So I hate I missed it. I heard CM Punk went off pretty good. So.
Mabo, your consideration, your thoughts.
Well, actually, Brooks, what Eddie's referring to with Sandow and Rhodes was from SmackDown.
You're right. I apologize.
Yeah, that's why I said Punk and Rock off on Raw. Now, unfortunately, I'd forgotten that Rock was going to be on SmackDown, so I just did the usual delete of SmackDown. Got to help Rock push his movies and increase buy rates. So let's be honest. That's why when they announced that The Rock was going to be at SmackDown, they went from having a couple, 100 to 1,000 tickets left or whatever from I've heard everything from a near sellout to a sellout because he was announced to be there officially. So I don't know.
Well, case point scenario, they made I think something I brought up earlier this week was the fact that the press release was made that Raw had its highest rating this past Monday night since August. And is it desperate times call for desperate measures? Is that why the entire Rock scenario just seems like, even though there was minor internet buildup, Wicked, are they in a situation where they really have to pull the trigger on things that soon and that sudden in order to try to get some kind of shock factor?
I'll say no. I'll say no because everybody knows pretty much. They say the Royal Rumble is a start to the road to WrestleMania. But if you're going to have Rock, facing the heavyweight champion at the Royal Rumble, then you've got to go ahead and get started. I know the Rumble's at the end of the month, but still, you still got to build it up a little bit. So no, I didn't think it was panic or too soon to pull the trigger. They did what they do every year about this time when it's if it's going to be a big deal. So they did what they did. That's how it was.
Okay. Wicked Nemesis, your thoughts?
Pulling the trigger? No, they did what they needed to do. Royal Rumble's going to have their buy rates regardless. But that was just one of those things, same thing we talked about Wednesday night on the To Be Determined show. It's one of those things, where if people were on the fence about getting the pay-per-view, then I'm sure they're getting the pay-per-view. But there were those that were going to get the pay-per-view regardless, and there's those that will not get the pay-per-view regardless.
Okay.
Come on. We all really want to see Punk beat the crap out of Rock. Come on now.
Agreed.
Even Chase wants that.
We can get him on the we can get him later and find out. Brooks, go ahead and pitch in.
Well, I don't think they're pulling the trigger. I think, like what we talked about last time I was on at the end of the year, is that they have to start at some point, start building up the storyline and the reasons for why The Rock's going to be there. The same that they're going to have to do with The Undertaker. If he's going to be back for WrestleMania, start of the year, no better time to get things going. Let's go ahead and get the storylines out there and have out a reason why they're going to be doing the things they do for WrestleMania. So I don't think they're pulling the trigger too quick. I think it's perfect timing. I think there's no better time than the start of the year to go ahead and get things rolling, get things showing why The Rock, building up the storyline, like I said. So I don't think they're jumping the gun at all. I think it's perfect time to do what they're doing.
Before we go to the top of the hour, and once again, you're listening to Beyond Ringside Sunday night, 6 minutes before the top of the hour. Coming up in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Grayson is going to be joining us with the Georgia Wrestling Report. Also, coming after the top of the hour, we are scheduled to be joined by professional wrestling star Nigel McGuinness right here on Beyond Ringside. Now, admittedly, I have not seen ROH this week because of a DVR malfluctuation. Thank you, Charter. I will catch it later tonight because I reset it and got it ready to go for tonight after the show's over. However, saw most of Impact, saw most of SmackDown, and saw Raw. Now, taking into consideration what you have seen this week, and based only on what you've seen this week, and possibly what you might have read if you read the reports coming in from other people who've seen the product, standard grading scale, the first full week of original programming on the nationally televised shows. Mark Bowman, you go first.
Well, first of all, you can't count Ring of Honor because it was just more final battle.
Okay.
So that kind of, you have to take out of the equation. So it basically leaves it down to WWE and TNA Impact. Didn't catch any main event or what's the other one? Saturday Night Slam Beaters or whatever it is.
Yeah.
For Raw, I would give it a B. B plus. It was good. It was good. Could have been a little bit better. Could have been a hell of a lot worse. So I'd say B plus. From what I read on SmackDown, because I did read the reports, I would give SmackDown a B plus. So WWE's averaging a B. Unfortunately, that's going to be brought down. Impact, with the little mini indie show called Gut Check, that style of match is not going to mesh well on national television. The Bully Ray marriage proposal, garbage. Like I said, there were some great other spots I saw on TNA. So B plus WWE product. You factor in what TNA did. I'm going to say you're looking at C plus, high C, low B, B minus.
Okay, Brooks Logan.
Well, like I said, I only got to catch Impact C at the most. They're not grades. A C. It's such a stale product, in my opinion, that even, and the marriage proposal, even though it's been done other places countless times, I guess it was okay to see something like that thrown in as a little something different, just throwing something different in for them anyway. But as far as all of it goes, a C plus maybe. It's stale to me. And, but I didn't get to see Raw, I didn't get to see SmackDown. I know in my return debut to the show, I'm very unprepared, so I apologize for that. So I haven't got to sit down and watch any WWE products for this week, so I apologize for being ill-prepared.
It's okay, dude. Wicked Nemesis, come on in.
Well, I have to be kind of tough on the guys, so for anybody that's ever been a part of public schools, they'll know that there is something, that every once in a while you'll see, and it's called INC, incomplete. And that's exactly what we have, an incomplete, because until I get on the national stage, you're going to get an F.
I mean, what do you expect?
Perspective play. Everything old is still old. It's not new again. I've said this before on many different occasions. Professional wrestling has long been one of the most green-friendly entities in creation. We recycle. Sometimes it's done well. Other times it is not done well. I was actually prepared to give Impact what I saw of it a B+. I do agree. Now, here's the thing. The gut check match, gut check versus gut check, the two, not going against somebody who has that national television opportunity.
And Eddie, I don't mean to cut you off on that, but that I agree with that. I had no problem with that part, that aspect of it.
Because you have to think, if you're giving somebody a chance to work somebody who's been on the product for a while, they know what they're looking for. And you have that person to help you through the match and help you get everything in place. However, if you're going indie, they're probably being given a time limit to work, and they're going to try to squeeze in as many offensive sets as possible in that time limit, regardless. So where you want to hold it against Impact for doing that, you can't hold it against Impact for doing that unless you just really damn well want to. And coming back with the situation with Rock, I was happy with the thing on SmackDown. I thought the SmackDown was actually more entertaining than the Monday night bit was, but the Monday night bit was more substantive. It had more pertinence, more overall bearing. And so you have to take everything into consideration. Raw got off to a decent start. They were, Cena doing a little bit more stand-up comedy, trying to get the crowd into the ball game, which I think the consensus still agrees that Cena is on track once again to be probably the best superstar WWE's ever had. Because like him, love him, hate him, he can get a crowd involved. The word polarizing has been used ad nauseum. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my original assessment. I'm going to give the week that was, from what I was able to see, a solid B. Now, I'll go back and watch what I missed, and I'll probably drop it to a C. But that's just me. I get a chance. We all have the opportunity to revise our grading scales, and no, we don't do it on a curve. Folks, we're headed for the top of the hour break at this point. Like I said, debuting a brand new segment here on Beyond Ringside during this break. Mark Grayson comes to us at the 5-minute mark with the Georgia Wrestling Report. And when we come back on Beyond Ringside, we are scheduled to be joined by professional wrestling star Nigel McGuinness right here.
Welcome to the Georgia Wrestling Report. I'm Mark Grayson from GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com. Each week, I'll bring you 5 minutes of news and views from the independent professional wrestling scene in the great state of Georgia, along with a healthy dose of shameless self-promotion. First off, I'd like to thank Fast Eddie Lane and all the folks at Beyond Ringside for allowing me to put this together and sharing it on their broadcast. I hope you find the information useful, and I hope to see you at a show very soon. Let's get started with some shameless self-promotion. Classic Pro Wrestling debuts next Friday, January 18th in Franklin, Georgia. Winter Warfare takes place at the Heard County High School. Main event features superstar Johnny Swinger taking on the monster Rob Adonis. We've also got Kyle Matthews, rookie sensation Fred Yehai, rising star Chip Day, the local scene Josh Storm, Jimmy the Kid, Brian Alexander, and from Nigeria, the mysterious Dr. Bombay will be joining us. $5 advance tickets are now on sale. Get your tickets from the Heard County Middle School Athletic Department and the Heard County High School Athletic Department. Help us help them by purchasing your tickets in advance. Proceeds from each advance ticket sale stay with the school and help fund their athletic programs. We'll be back in Franklin on February 1st with Snow Fury featuring Robert Gibson from the Rock and Roll Express and the Gym Class Heroes. Also, if you're in the Rome, Georgia area next Saturday, January 19th, join me for Georgia All-Star Wrestling at the VFW. We've got a great card lined up featuring a main event heavyweight championship match featuring Butcher Bobby Hayes going for the gold. taking on the champion, Waylon Rhodes. Kyle Matthews will also be there, along with Simon Sermon, Lamar Phillips, Mike Cannon, Kevin Blue, Chris Gans, Chris Lightning, Wild Child, Joey Kidman, and so much more. Tickets start at $6. You can find Georgia All-Star Wrestling on Facebook. Also, February 16th, it's the Nightmare to Remember 3, celebration of the life and times of Nightmare Ted Allen. It's our 3rd year doing this, and it just keeps getting better. This year, Bullet Bob Armstrong will be joining us to accept a Lifetime Achievement Award from Ron Simmons. Tickets are on sale now. Check out the LN Promotions website or look for LN Promotions on Facebook. Also, in Villa Rica on March 16th, I'll be there with Universal Independent Wrestling as they put together their biggest show in history, featuring Diamond Dallas Page and Jake the Snake Roberts. That's right, folks. You heard it here. They'll be joining us. You've seen it on YouTube. Join us in person to see Jake the Snake Roberts' Redemption Tour. Tickets will be going on sale soon. Be sure to check out Universal Independent Wrestling on Facebook. You don't want to miss it. Also, January 27th, I'll be in Blue Ridge, Georgia with Deep Southern Championship Wrestling for a super show featuring the Rock and Roll Express, Gunner from TNA, Jimmy Rave, Kyle Matthews, and Big Wood the Lumberjacks' final match in Blue Ridge. That's right, folks. Big Wood's hanging up the boots. And also, if you're in the Porterdale, Georgia area, Platinum Championship Wrestling returns next Saturday the 19th. The Demigod Mason takes on the Revelation Shane Marks in a match that's been 3 years in the making. Don't miss it. Rampage Pro Wrestling returns to Johnny G's and Warner Robins on January 20th for another big TV taping. Also, Anarchy Wrestling returns to Cornelia, Georgia, January 26th. I'm sure they'll have a big card lined up. Lots of great talent in that promotion. Folks, I'm about to hit the 5-minute mark, which lets me know that it's time to remind you about my new website, the5minutemark.com. Check it out and you can keep up with everything that I talked about on this podcast. Take care.
Engine.
Check.
Thrusters.
Check.
Fuel.
Mayor Ted Allen. It's our 3rd year doing this, and it just keeps getting better. This year, Bullet Bob Armstrong will be joining us to accept a Lifetime Achievement Award from Ron Simmons. Tickets are on sale now. Check out the LN Promotions website or look for LN Promotions on Facebook. Also, in Villa Rica on March 16th, I'll be there with Universal Independent Wrestling as they put together their biggest show in history, featuring Diamond Dallas Page and Jake the Snake Roberts. That's right, folks. You heard it here. They'll be joining us. You've seen it on YouTube. Join us in person to see Jake the Snake Roberts' Redemption Tour. Tickets will be going on sale soon. Be sure to check out Universal Independent Wrestling on Facebook. You don't want to miss it. Also, January 27th, I'll be in Blue Ridge, Georgia with Deep Southern Championship Wrestling for a super show featuring the Rock and Roll Express, Gunner from TNA, Jimmy Rave, Kyle Matthews, and Big Wood the Lumberjacks' final match in Blue Ridge. That's right, folks. Big Wood's hanging up the boots. And also, if you're in the Porterdale, Georgia area, Platinum Championship Wrestling returns next Saturday the 19th. The Demigod Mason takes on the Revelation Shane Marks in a match that's been 3 years in the making. Don't miss it. Rampage Pro Wrestling returns to Johnny G's and Warner Robins on January 20th for another big TV taping. Also, Anarchy Wrestling returns to Cornelia, Georgia, January 26th. I'm sure they'll have a big card lined up. Lots of great talent in that promotion. Folks, I'm about to hit the 5-minute mark, which lets me know that it's time to remind you about my new website, the5minutemark.com. Check it out and you can keep up with everything that I talked about on this podcast. Take care.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, all right. Think about it. Where did you have them last?
I remember I was home, then I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the in-flight magazine.
And that's the last you saw of your savings?
Yes.
This is so weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke its gauntlet.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Engines.
Check.
Thrusters.
Check.
Fuel.
Check.
Computers.
Check.
Social Security.
No check, go direct.
That's right, Patty. A few weeks ago, I went online to godirect.org to sign up for direct deposit. It's easy to do, and I got my cash at warp speed.
Wow, it's fast and easy. I'll sign up right now to make sure I'm prepared for our next mission.
Welcome to the original rock and wrestling radio show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Lane.
And we are live on a Sunday night. Welcome to your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. You got it. This is Beyond Ringside. Mike Macaroni, thank you for the introduction. Let's take it around the table. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Mabo Bowman, come on in.
This show's like a hot chick with 240 ounces and no condoms. Cool as hell.
Brooks Logan, come on in.
Mabo's cool as hell.
Wicked Nemesis, come on in.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm just saying.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest on the line with us right now, internationally known professional wrestling superstar, the one, the only, Mr. Nigel McGuinness. Mr. McGuinness, great to have you on Beyond Ringside tonight, sir.
How you doing, boys? Why do I feel like I'm at a comic book convention?
That's actually one of the nicest things we've been called. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would normally say the insane asylum is in business. However, we're going to put that theory on hold. First off, one thing I want to tackle right off the bat, if I may. Avid fan of Ring of Honor. Avid fan of yours for a long time. Genuinely appreciate the body of work that you've laid out there. And when they had the episode recently where they had named you as the matchmaker for ROH, tremendous, love it. You've been doing a hell of... I really appreciate you on color commentary, but I also appreciate you moving into the front office position. And I see different aspects of ROH. And one of the things that's been discussed in just about every forum is, and one of the sound bites that we played on that particular week was bringing the honor back to Ring of Honor. Can you give a little bit more in-depth from your perspective about that soundbite?
Just, you know, when I started out, when the company started out, it was based on some very accessible tenets. You know, a winner and a loser, clear winner and loser in every match. You shake hands before the match, you shake hands after the match. And it was about the best athletic competition bell to bell. And some of us kind of felt that, you know, because of you know, certain people in the company, it was kind of getting away from that, you know, both in storyline and otherwise. So we just kind of felt like we needed to get back to grassroots, get back to what made the company what it was in the first place, you know. And those are the two things that sort of stand out, and that's what we try to get back to. You know, Paul Heyman was famous for obviously emphasizing, you know, the positives and hiding the weaknesses, and I always felt like that's what we should do at Ring of Honor, and you know, we can put the best bell-to-bell product out there. We have some great wrestlers, and that's what we really need to focus on.
Mark Bowman, come on in.
Now, obviously, for those who don't know, and if you don't, you know, then shame on you. Before you were an active wrestler in Ring of Honor. Tremendous talent. Everybody loved you. You held, you know, if not mistaken, longest running heavyweight champion and pure champion. But how were you received by the fans when you came back in the non-wrestling role?
Like a hero's welcome, really. You know, I was sort of blown away by the sort of rousing ovation I got when I came out there in Chicago. So it was really good, and it really did feel like a homecoming, and I was very happy with it, and still I'm very happy to be with the company.
Brooks Logan.
Yeah, Nigel, I want to thank you first of all for joining us this evening. I know that you had to leave the ring as an active wrestler due to health problems, injuries, and health issues and whatnot. How much do you miss the actual in-ring aspect of it? How much do you miss actually getting in the ring and wrestling?
Yeah, well, not a huge deal. I kind of feel outside of WWE, I did pretty much everything I could do in wrestling, or anything that I wanted to do in wrestling, so I'm pretty okay with that aspect of it. When I watch WWE sometimes and I see some of my peers wrestling there, I feel that sort of twinge, but I never really got to experience that. But overall, I'm okay with it, you know. I mean, every now and again when I'm watching a great match in Ring of Honor, I do sort of go, oh man, I'll never being out there. And, you know, I used to love the, the artistic endeavour of going out there and getting that sort of reaction from a crowd. But overall, I'm very happy to be where I am in my life.
Wicked Nemesis, come on in.
Nigel, why did you want to become a professional wrestler from the get-go, from the very beginning?
Always a fan ever since I was like 12, 13 years old. Always a fan. It's, you know, just have those weird sort of epiphanies, those moments that, for whatever reason, convince you that, you know, that's going to be your direction in life. You know, whether it was Robbie Brookside doing a documentary when I was 14 years old, or sitting in Wembley Stadium watching SummerSlam '92. Or getting meningitis when I was 18 and deciding that life's short and you've really got to make the most of it. Just childhood dream.
If I could, I've got a two-parter. When we look back at different parts of what we've done and throughout the body of work, there's always two in particular that pop into my head. Number one, the match you wish you could have back and why. And number two, when you're in a program, when you're working a storyline, when you're in a match with somebody, or you're getting ready for a match, and you hear that name, and you automatically go, this is going to be a good night. I'm going to have some fun with this. For you, what are those two different moments?
I don't have a match I could have back, you know, which is funny because I think, you know, a lot of people would think that in retrospect, I'd probably do things differently. And I would do, but not in terms of the actual wrestling. I just approach, you know, trying to be successful a little bit differently. But as far as the individual matches, not so much, you know. I mean, yes, I probably could have taken care of myself physically a little bit better. But, you know, it's not ballet. Everybody gets hurt at the end of the day. But Kurt Angle was obviously the person that really stands out to me, that no matter where we were, even our very first match, I just knew it was going to be easy, and it was going to be a great match, and it was going to be one of the blessings of my career as a professional wrestler.
Before I go back around, there's one that I'd really like to ask. One of the things, and I've spoken to a couple of different people, Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander, actually Caprice, good friend of ours here on the show. One of the things that he has made the reference to is the camaraderie at ROH. The fact that everybody finds that common ground and it's really genuine there. Can you elaborate on that?
You know, I was listening to Cabana's podcast, which if you guys don't listen to, I think is real fantastic. He was talking to New Jack, and New Jack was talking about the politics in the locker room in ECW, and Cabana was talking about how when he was in Ring of Honor, he never felt like that was the case. I mean, arguably because there wasn't a whole lot of money there. You know, the top spots weren't getting paid extortionately more than the lower spots, so everyone kind of felt like we were on the same page trying to put the best product out there. You know, I think that's a big part of it. It was always a very family sort of atmosphere, and it still is to a large extent.
Mark Bowman, come on in.
Well, first of all, Mr. McGinnis, happy birthday. I know your birthday's about a week and a half, so happy birthday.
Oh, I hate birthdays. I hate you now.
Oh, don't worry. There's a lot of people that hate me. But two things from your old Ring of Honor days. One, do you still have the Union Jack iron? and two, how long did it take you to get your hair fixed before every show?
Don't have the iron. I broke it on a guy's head in Italy, and that was the last of the iron. And it would generally take me between half an hour and 45 minutes, which is why I stopped doing it and shaved my head.
Brooks Logan.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Kurt Angle just a minute ago. Just wondering who are some of the biggest influences in your wrestling career, either before you became a wrestler as a young fan, or even as you're in the sport.
Ultimate Warrior, Ted DiBiase, probably Hulk Hogan a little bit, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, as I got a little bit more into it. Mick Foley certainly was a huge influence. Bobby Brookside, arguably more so once I got into the business and just saw how talented he was and how proficient he was at the art form. William Regal was a huge inspiration to me. Fit Finlay, Marty Roberts, Pete Roberts, and Marty Jones. Just so many of those sort of guys. Guys like James Mason and Doug Williams as well. When I was starting out, were guys I sort of tried to watch as much as I possibly could.
Wicked Nemesis.
Mr. McGinnis, who are some names that you like to watch today? I mean, if you have a chance just to sit around and just watch some wrestling, who do you put into your DVD, Blu-ray player, VHS recorder?
I don't really watch wrestling anymore, but if it's on, I love Santino. I think he's fantastic, tremendously entertaining. Obviously, Punk. Obviously, I think just has that ability to engage people. Any of those guys that I sort of admired when I was a fan, or when I got into the business, I watched them. I think Ziggler's fantastic. And then watching Ring of Honor, so many of the guys they're great. I used to love watching Ciampa, and now R.D. Evans has become my famous person, my favorite person to wrestle, not to wrestle, to watch rather, outside of Maria. So
now, if I may, with all of the different places that you have been over your time in this industry, what has been, first off, your favorite place geographically to work? And second, if I may, knowing that in different, even areas of the United States, the fan bases are so different. The Northeast as opposed to the Central States, as opposed to the Southeastern U.S., and Florida is its own animal. And then you go to different areas around the world. Geographically, as far as overall experience, what has been one of your favorite areas to work in? And then, if we could, follow up with the differences in the fan bases that you've encountered over the years.
Good matches are where you find them. I really believe that. I've had some great matches pretty much everywhere that I've wrestled, and some matches that didn't turn out as good as I'd hoped. I used to love going to Japan. We're treated as athletes over there, and there's a lot more respect for professional wrestling as an industry within the culture. But at the same time, you can't beat that sort of electricity from a Ring of Honor crowd in New York, or that match that Dragon and I had in Liverpool. And then doing some of the small independents in England. There's just that real grassroots sort of feel where you can, the fans get up close and personal. WXW is another fantastic place in Germany. ICW in Italy. The chance for me to go to a different country like Italy and experience down somebody else's dime was a wonderful experience. They're still a great company, and there's a lot of great places out there still.
Now, coming into current right now, you have a brand new DVD that is out. It is a full documentary. Some would say the autobiography. And as opposed to a book, you went video format. Love the idea, love the concept, and I've got mine on the way. So, folks, if you haven't had a chance, we're going to talk about that just a little bit. The Last of McGinnis, now available on DVD. The full documentary, which, Mr. McGinnis, you put that together basically with your own hands, watching all the different tapes, right?
It's not really a documentary of my wrestling career in a sense. It's really a documentary of my retirement tour from wrestling, sort of emotional journey I went on to come to terms with the end of my career. I retired at the end of last year. I went on a tour for like 6 weeks. Got about 70 hours of worth of footage, and spent this year about 8-9 months of it putting it together. It cost me about, I got $50,000 from Kickstarter, and I pretty much used it all up in terms of making the movie, shipping out the rewards. So it's been a real labour of love. I had to learn every aspect as I've gone along, but we got there, and I'm very proud of it, and I've had a lot of great feedback so far. And I'm really interested to see what guys like Mick Foley and CM Punk and William Regal think of it too.
Yeah, I've read a lot of the reviews that have come out, and everybody has had such sparkling comments. Like I said, when I saw the opportunity was there, I definitely jumped on it myself. And right off the top of my head, two questions. Your favorite moment as far as the process of putting it all together, as well as, per se, the most bittersweet moment of putting it all together would be what?
Don't really have a favourite moment other than the moment it was over. You know, it was. I wish I could look at everything and go, "Oh, it's just a challenge," but a lot of times it's a headache and it's a hassle, especially when a lot of times you're given sort of the wrong information along the way. But I was lucky to have a lot of people help me out and put me in the right sort of direction. So, you know, favourite moment was when it was over, and bittersweet moment, I don't really know. And some of the feedback that I got from fans who watched it, who told me how much I influenced their life, their career, and things they did to come watch me, that was really the most touching moment for me of the whole thing.
Now, the video itself is available. There are two different price points available. You've got the basic edition, which is available for $25 plus shipping. And
well, I'll stop you there. There's actually only the basic edition left. There was a version with the extras, which had like a couple of hours of footage extra on it, but that's gone. That's sold out now. So I've really only got the basic edition remaining. So if you want a copy, I would suggest going to Nigel Wrestling as soon as possible and ordering that copy, because I've just got a certain number that are left over after I had to get a certain number made for Kickstarter. So if you want a copy, if you want to own one of these copies now, I would order it off the website as soon as possible, because I'm in the process of making some changes, some edits, trying to get it out to film festivals, and that's the real goal, to get this across to a bigger audience outside of professional wrestling. Because I think there's a lot of messages, hopefully, within the movie that touch people outside of professional wrestling. You know, it's more so a story about somebody with a dream, and a discussion about success, where we all find it, as opposed to, you know, I was a professional wrestler who didn't quite make it as far as I wanted to.
Now, on the basic edition, that's still $25 available through the website, NigelWrestling.com, right?
Yeah.
And that is PayPal primarily, right?
Correct.
Okay. You were making a reference. Actually, do me a favor. Let me go around the table one more time. Mark Bowman, come on in. One more round with Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel, at any point, obviously this is the last of McGuinness, and it's your farewell. At any point, did you find it emotionally difficult? Any point during the process, the filming, the editing, any of that?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it you'll see when you watch the movie. Actually, there's a couple of scenes where it kind of really gets to me, and but that's what good documentary filmmaking is about, capturing those moments. You know, it's all part of the journey. Life's nothing but peaks and valleys, and so you just got to accept that.
Brooks Logan, one more round with Nigel McGuinness.
All right. Like you said, the name of the video, The End of McGuinness.
Last of
McGuinness.
I'm sorry. After it's all said and done, after your total wrestling career is over with, you're out of the front office, and you've wrapped up your years in professional wrestling, what will Nigel McGuinness be doing after all of his wrestling days are behind him?
Well, I'm not really 100% sure. I'm hoping this documentary will open up some doors within the film industry, maybe to work on another documentary or something else within, you know, I've had to learn so many different aspects of filmmaking just to get to this stage. A year ago, I didn't know how to shoot with a camcorder, you know, and now here I am. I've got, you know, pretty much a very acceptably looking DVD, you know, so I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm hoping that will open up some doors. I'm here in Los Angeles. I'm doing some stand-up comedy. I'm doing some writing as well. You mentioned a book. I'm thinking about working on something else like that. There's also hopefully a wrestling school that's going to be opening up here, the Wrestling Cares Association, which is going to be out of Los Angeles. You can follow me on Twitter at McGuinness Nigel to hear more about that once we get some things in place. But I'm really excited about that. There's also going to be a promotion out here as well. We're going to hopefully get a chance to work with my old trainer, Les Thatcher. That's going to be something else. You know, it's just I've realised from wrestling that I spent a lot of my life with one goal and one goal only, and if you don't get there, it can make life a little bit tough to swallow. So, you know, I'm just letting life happen as it happens, and hoping that I find some happiness somewhere.
Wicked Nemesis, one more round.
You know, long after we're all gone, there'll still be matches on the internet for buying or whatever. What is the one match that you want everyone to remember about Nigel McGuinness? The one match that totally transcends everything you've done, that you think or you want to stand out for people to be like, that is vintage Nigel McGuinness?
I don't know if there is one, to be honest with you. You know, there's things I like about a lot of different matches. I can't pick just one and say that was the epitome of me as a professional wrestler. It was all, you know, stages along that evolution. If it doesn't exist, it won't be on the internet, but for me, the match that I had with Pope in Wembley Arena, one of the stadiums that I went to when I was a kid. Skipped out of school when I was 15 years old to watch William Regal and WCW there, and here I was, a couple of decades later, wrestling there and just having a phenomenal match and a great experience, and 8,000 fans screaming for me, based on everything I'd learned for the previous decade of busting my ass to get to that stage. That was really the highlight for me. It was all downhill from after that.
Now, you actually brought up the question that I was going to ask you about, because you made a reference to the stand-up comedy. And some of the most humorous moments in professional wrestling are the ones that we get away with in tongue-in-cheek moments. Whereas when you make the move into doing something as stand-up comedy, both in wrestling and in stand-up, you're laying yourself out there in more dimensions than a lot of people can genuinely understand. Now, moving over to stand-up, have you found that to be easy to make that move, difficult to make the move, working on the timing, working on the delivery, the punchlines?
It's a work in progress. I'm a lot further along the comedy than I was at this stage of wrestling, but I think that's because there's a lot of parallels between the two, as you said.
Now, upcoming appearances not only with ROH, but on the stand-up, as well as some of the other things you're going to be doing. Where can people find you in the upcoming days?
I'm doing my first sort of feature act over in Arizona with Tim Chismar, who's a local producer, comedy headliner out here in Los Angeles. That's going to be beginning of March. We're going to be doing a few more improvs, a few more flappers comedies. But if you follow me at McGuinness Nigel, I'll keep you up to date on there, But I just, moving forward, I think I'm going to try and, push some of the messages from the documentary as well. Going forward, I'm going to try and do some work with the local charities here, and obviously I have a vested interest in hepatitis treatment. I'm also trying to move forward with Ring of Honor, and work on a workable testing and vaccination protocol for all the boys there as well. So that's going to be a big part of the future.
Mr. McGuinness, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on with us, and please accept our invitation, if you will. Upcoming events, if you've got something coming up that you'd like for to pass along, we'll be more than happy to help you do it. Plus, like I said, we'd love to have you come back on somewhere down the road.
Sure, no worries, guys. Well, listen, once you get the DVD, watch it, let it digest for a little bit, and then we can come back on and we can discuss that at more length. Because I think there's some depth and some messages in that hopefully I'd like to get your feedback on as wrestling fans.
You have a deal. We'll definitely hold you to that. Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest, Mr. Nigel McGuinness, has just gone Beyond Ringside. Hang with us. We'll be back on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network right after this.
This is Nigel McGuinness, Ring of Honor superstar, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside. Stay tuned, wankers.
Welcome back to Beyond Ringside, Sunday night, 20 minutes before the top of the hour. Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel. Mabo, come on back.
Yeah, does anybody want to build any cribs or swing-a-dings or jump around or anything while we're on the air? Anybody want to do that? Go ahead.
Brooks Logan, come on back.
As long as I'm not doing it on the air, Eddie will give me clearance to multitask and try to get ready for this kid.
Brooks Vila, there you go. Wicked Nemesis, come on back.
Thunder Buddies for life.
Oh, can we sing the Thunder Buddy song, Wicked?
Can we?
Go ahead, I don't care.
I don't know, can we?
Do it,
Eddie. Y'all have, and then I'll pull up the words and I'll sing it.
Great, this is the national anthems all over again. Folks, 20 minutes before the top of the hour, I want to say thank you very much to Nigel McGuinness for coming on with us. And folks, you heard it, he will be rejoining us probably in a couple of weeks. Made the reference, DVD, very much available, The Last of McGuinness. You can get your copy. Now, the expanded edition, or the version with extras, is sold out. The basic edition, definitely take advantage of it while it lasts. There are only a certain number left right now. The website is nigelwrestling.com. You can also keep track of some of his upcoming appearances by checking him out over on Twitter. It's McGuinness Nigel, at McGuinness Nigel over on Twitter. I'm also going to be posting some of it when the podcast of the interview goes up. And like I said, looking forward to getting the DVD in, and that way I have a chance to really sit down and soak it in. And he has agreed to come back on after the in a couple of weeks, so we're definitely going to hold him up to that. Be sure to keep your eyes and ears open. BeyondRingside.com, the official website for all things happening here on Beyond Ringside. Also, follow us on Twitter at Beyond Ringside. One word, run it all together. Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live is the Facebook fan page. Now, here's the truth. Facebook.com Beyond Ringside is us. There are 5,400 friends plus over on the Facebook friends page. We cannot add anybody else. There are 1,500 plus people waiting to be added to the friends list on the friends page. We can't add anybody else. But we thank you so much, because actually that's 300 new friends requests in the last 2 weeks, and I'm just humbled by that and greatly flattered. And moving over, please drop over Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. Click like. It's just that easy, because some things will go on the fan page before it goes on the friends page. So guess what? A little bit of an exclusive there. Keep your eyes and ears open. Also, thank you to everybody who is listening this evening on BeyondRingside.com. I want to remind everybody that the player that you're listening through on .com, the primary Flash player, is the home of our 24/7 channel. So when we sign off tonight, you will catch this week's edition of the To Be Determined show, as originally aired this past Wednesday night, with, of course, Wicked Nemesis, Tasha Simone, Matt Denton, Corey Smart, Grage Natch, and yours truly producing. Definitely catch the replay of that. Also, last Sunday's edition of Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio. GCW Radio will be returning on January the 20th at 9 o'clock p.m. on BeyondRingside.com. Also, I added one other little tweak. If you check out the front page over at BeyondRingside.com, you'll see the primary player on the page. But you can also listen through your favorite standalone application, whether it be Windows Media Player, QuickTime, Real Player, or Winamp. All four of those links are clickable, and I double checked everything through I cross formatted the browsers, and they will pop up through their own appropriate player. No strings attached, no hitches, and you can open up the player, listen through there, and continue to surf the web uninterrupted.
Well, while you think about things, Eddie, as some people might know, especially those living, those are in the state of Alabama right now. It is raining, and there is thunder and lightning.
It sucks out there.
It's going on, and well, some of you, much like myself, might have issues with thunder. But I have a little song. That can help us get through this, if I may.
Yes, you may. Fire away.
When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your thunder buddy and say these magic words. You thunder, you can suck my... You can't get me thunder because you're just God's farts.
I thought that was going to be more of you. I thought everybody was going to sing that.
Well, we didn't pass out the copy music there.
Oh, okay. Well, I figured the way y'all were talking about it, everybody knew the damn song.
No, it's just me.
I am finally on something totally wrestling unrelated. And
No, we're going to stick to wrestling. You do too much unrelated stuff. So, a couple of firings went on this week.
I was going to ask who wanted the discontinued Green Lantern ring, but never mind.
Nah.
Okay.
Green Lanterns are for fruit babies.
Well, unfortunately,
anyway,
I can't find the real version of the Sinestro ring, and I don't want the plastic one. I want it, but I don't want it.
Hey, shh. Go get you something to eat. We'll run the show.
You do it. Go for it.
All right. So, earlier on this week, I believe Friday, the first one to go, shockingly enough, because they were actually going to get behind him with an angle, where's Trent? They let Trent Beretta go. Then a couple days later, I think not even a couple days, a couple hours later, they had the WWE developmental Skylar Moon. A lot of people know her as Buggy. She wasn't even with the company, I don't think, a couple of months before she had to check into rehab, not for drugs or alcohol or anything, but she had an eating disorder. And she actually posted a picture a week or two ago. Who was she with? Daniel Bryan, I believe. They posted a picture, she was backstage Raw, but let her go too. Yet, for some reason, JTG still has a job. Let's see, who else has a job? Not Naomi, but the other dancer, little Funkasaurus dancer there. She has a job.
Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron. Yeah, I don't really acknowledge her. There's a lot of other people that still have jobs in the WWE, but when you're someone who's as talented as Trent Beretta, and Buggy Nova, they get let go. Gentlemen, your thoughts. Fast Eddie Lane, I'll go to you first.
Actually, go to Brooks and Wicked first.
Brooks Logan, I'll go to you first.
It's not surprising to me what they do. About the same time every year. Tend to let a lot of the good talent get out of their reach if they're not developed where they expect them to be, and it's a shame. But it's WWE, it's Vince McMahon's. It's no surprise, as I said, we're used to it by now.
Wicked Nemesis, I will defer to you. Are you surprised that there have not been more let go over the weekend?
Well, first of all, if Trent taught us anything, it's never shave your eyebrows when you're on national TV. And only Maybo, I think, gets that joke. And, of course, some of the fans listening. But Little Jimmy is, as CM Punk said, positioned higher than some of the talent, some of the workers in that company. There should be more people get fired. But what they're doing is like outsourcing. It's like, why would you pay somebody $80 when you can turn around and you'll have some dip work for free? That's pretty much what it is. They're just letting go of people that they feel they can't do anything with. Well, you know whose problem is? If you just don't have anything for somebody, that's the quote-unquote rider's fault.
That's Eddie Lane. Oh, sorry, Wicked.
Continue, Wick.
Well, I just said biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy made me a man. Speaking of somebody who's not a man, Fast Eddie Lane, what do you think about the firings?
Number one, it's about that time. They normally do it. Brooks hit it right on the head as far as the chronology of the situation goes. But in the overall perspective, I give credit to the complete lack of creative direction for some of the undercard talent. They don't really, they concentrate on the A's, they concentrate on the high B's, and the one thing that I've always said about WWE, if you're in, they'll write for you. If you're not in, then you're just out. And unfortunately, good talent has a tendency to fall by the wayside during the firing cuts. You've got some dead weight that does get cut, and I'm not saying it as a personal affront to anyone. But what I'm saying is, maybe your work's been off over the last week, 2 weeks, month, 6 months, year. Maybe you haven't come along, you haven't progressed on the microphone. Maybe there's just something, maybe creative just can't find the right place to put you in. And unfortunately, because you can even have bad people in good storylines, and occasionally they'll get lucky and pull it off. But overall scenario in place, I just give to the fact that half the time, WWE's creative committee just does not seem to be able to put together enough storylines to cover the depth that they have since the roster split dissolved. And I was afraid of that.
Well, then let me ask you this. You've got guys who, like Trent Beretta, who was out hurt, like Kurt Hawkins, who was out hurt, Alex Riley, who was out hurt, Camacho, if I'm not mistaken, who is a tremendous talent. He's not really given a chance. He's out because of that. So if they're out hurt, how is it fair to them? If you sit there and go, well, we got nothing for you, but they're out hurt, how is that being fair? I mean, I'm not saying this business is fair. God knows it's not. It's not fair.
Well, it's not fair in the least.
But, I mean, how is it like, if you're not going to give somebody a chance and they're out hurt, then why, and you know you're going to release them, just go ahead and release them when they get hurt.
Why did Eric...
let's be honest. Do you think they have... Kurt Hawkins, when he comes back, do you think they have anything for him?
No.
Okay. Why not just go ahead when he got hurt and get rid of him?
Because that's actually a crappy thing to do. Case point scenario, Steve Austin with WCW being fired by FedEx courtesy of Eric Bischoff while he was out hurt.
Well, it's any more crappier than going through rehab, getting your injury fixed, only to come back to get fired?
Well, at least they...
it's really no worse than that.
Okay, now this one I will put to all four of you then, and I'm going to go reverse order on this one. What's worse, going through rehab, getting healthy, then getting released? or doing like Impact has done on more than one occasion and just cut the strings after you get hurt before accepting any kind of responsibility at all, because we all know normally, case point scenario, normally WWE is normally better about taking care of the people that work under their umbrella than Impact is. Wicked, you're up first. What's worse? Okay, Brooks, I'll come to you.
Well, of course, like what you said with how TNA does, but my point was, if, like Mabel was saying, if you're going to release them as soon as they get back healthy, why not go ahead and cut them when they're hurt? But if they get hurt wrestling, whatever, while they're working for you, then you need to go ahead and take care of them and make sure that you're taking care of their rehab and everything else. And I guess that kind of answers my own question, but maybe that's what WWE does, is make sure that they cover them while they're hurt instead of just looking like total dicks and doesn't fire them as soon as they get hurt and just saying, oh, you're hurt and you got hurt working with us. Oh, well, sorry. Hope you got insurance.
There you go.
So I see where you're coming from on that. Now, my point was that basically, no matter what, they should be taking care of them if they got hurt while working for them. Go back, if you don't mind, to what we were talking about that brought this whole subject up, of guys getting released. That's the thing I like. The one thing I like about TNA and how they do it is, if they don't have any bookings for TNA, and I may be wrong, if they don't have any bookings for TNA, they can go work somewhere else, correct? They can go work on the independent scene.
Indie scene, yes.
Whatever, right?
Normally, what is it?
As long as it's not
televised.
As long as it's not televised and or going to be put on a DVD or I would say Blu-ray, but there's no indie companies that have Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So right.
They're given the chance to work.
Exactly. They are given a chance.
And that's the biggest thing. WWE. So now I know how much bigger WWE is than TNA, but still, if you're not using any of these guys, if you don't have room for them, if you don't have enough shows, if you don't have enough spots, but they're still on your roster, at least allow them to go out and make a little extra money on the independent scene or something like that. As long as it's not going to interfere with your product, your money making, as long as they're not taking money out of your pocket, I don't see the harm in letting them go work the independent scene, especially a lot of these mid-carder guys that aren't getting the push or not even getting airtime at all, just because there's only so many shows they can have and so many places for them. To ask them just to be on the roster of the WWE and expect that to be good enough for them, you still got to make some. That's part of it. Especially these guys in WWE. This is their full-time job, and if they're not getting, if they're not getting airtime and not getting shown, I don't see a problem with letting them work on the independent scene, just like TNA does. I applaud TNA for what they do in that regard, at least.
Well, even though TNA, just recently, now Rosita is still technically, they're saying she's still technically on the contract.
The Trinidad, yeah.
Sarita, they just recently let her go. But in the time they weren't using her, which was a big mistake, they let her go to Mexico, where she got most of her training, where she started out, where she was wildly popular, and she literally was there for months on end. I think since the last time, what were they called at that point? Mexican America?
Pretty much.
LAX? What were they?
Mexican America.
Whatever they were. She was allowed to go and make her money there, which I think is, perfectly, fine. I can see why WWE, though, doesn't let them go work other shows for the simple fact that, one, it's going to be too much of a hassle having to draw up a contract and saying, okay, because you can't make our guy look bad,
right?
Because that's where you run the risk. Even though it is a lower to mid card talent, like and the thing was, because Trent Beretta was healthy and they let him go, yet that big original Star Trek Klingon-looking mofo Ezekiel Jackson is still out hurt. He's worse than frickin' Ahmed Johnson. He's still got a job. It ticks me off. But anyway, if you got your lower to mid-card guys, you can't sit there and have, their Joe Schmo, for, backyard championship wrestling go over their guys. Regardless of who it is. Whether it be, a lower guy like Kurt Hawkins or Trent Beretta, up to like a mid-card guy, all the way up to the top, they would have a freaking hissy fit. So I could see that instance. I could see why they wouldn't let them get in the ring and wrestle. Now, to go out and make an appearance, and yes, I know they have contracts. And some of them have lucrative contracts. Some of them don't have the best. And they have, when you get hurt, you have the the downside of the contract that you still get paid even though you're sitting at home, and they're taking care of your medical bills. But at least, like Brooke said, let them go out, but let it be personal appearances. I mean, yes, we know they're going to use Kofi or The Miz or a more recognizable name to, go to Kmart's, which stupidest promotion I've ever heard. You go, come to Target. At least I get to meet the guys. But they get to go out and they get, that's part of the contract, but they still get a little bit more money. But, why not let a frickin' Kurt Hawkins, if he's in the area, show up at a Global Championship Wrestling to do a meet and greet. Just do a meet and greet. He's not wrestling. He's not going to, get made to look bad. Have him, if nothing else, have him, get into it with the top heel or one of the heels in the locker room or whatever. Do a little biggity bam, because no matter what you are on TV, when you show up at another company, you're just going to get, just loved all over anyway. So why not just have him, show up, do a little something, hit him with a, whatever finisher is, walk away. He gets to sign, gets to sell the 8x10s, gets to, take the pictures, and let him go. I mean, and then, the WWE, have it set up to where WWE gets a small portion. Because you're technically using their...
their name.
Yeah, their copyright, so...
Yeah. See, I can follow up on that. Yeah, Impact is normally good about letting their people go out and do independent shows, but by the same token, most indie promoters won't sign a lot of people through the Impact office due to the fact that if I know, okay, case point scenario, Mabo works for Impact. Mabo's strong B-list card right now. He's on his way up, and he's making a really good impression. Well,
hell yeah, what's my gimmick?
Brooks, you're a promoter over in Alabama, and you're getting ready to put on a charity event. Well, lo and behold, you get in touch with the TNA front office. Well, you've spoken with you've spoken with Mabo away from the shows, and you've had correspondence with him on Facebook or over on Twitter. It's like, dude, how much would you charge me to come do the show? Well, Mabo's going to charge you maybe $500. Well, from that vantage point,
more than that.
Okay, but if you go through Impact's front office, and I have people who will testify to this as fact, they'll want you to pay somewhere in the neighborhood of $900. The talent is probably going to get $400 out of that, and the front office gets $500. There is no damage waiver. Yeah, I'm not kidding, because the front office, TNA's front office, will charge an agency fee. And
well, I was going to say, this really happened. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, seriously, because, and I know a number of people who've had to go through this. A lot of promoters in Georgia who like to bring in Impact talent. They brought in everybody from Angel to Velvet to Mickey and ODB, Tracy. They brought in AJ and Styles, that is. A lot of the characters, a lot of the people on Impact Wrestling, they'd bring them in one at a time or two at a time if they're lucky, because a lot of the time the Impact offices or TNA's office is going to say, well, it'd be easier actually since these two normally ride together. Can you do this and book them? And instead of $900 a piece, we'll let you book both of them for $1,400. Well, it sounds like a great deal, but if you can turn around and get both of them for $1,000 by dealing direct, but if you do that and the Impact or the TNA's front office finds out you're doing that, well, guess what? Lo and behold, that person may be fired anyway by for doing that, because like I said, for a company that does so little, and this is where my ultimate gripe. And by the way, the pay-per-view just started. We didn't do predictions. We'll come back and do that in 2 weeks. Aw, damn, we didn't do predictions.
well, come on. Well, hurry up, and we'll do them.
Okay. See, for a company that
Oh,
genuinely...
don't forget we got the guy coming in 5 minutes, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, he can wait. We're more important.
There you go. Let's run this thing. Knockout gauntlets match for the number one contendership. Gail Kim, ODB, Tess Mocker, Mickey James, Velvet Sky. Mabo.
Velvet Sky.
Brooks.
Mickey James.
It'll probably... I'm giving it to Velvet Sky. TV Championship. Devon, Joseph Park. Mabo.
I'm going to say Devon.
Brooks.
Yeah, Devon. What happened to Wick?
He fell off.
Oh.
And hopefully...
Wagon? Anyway, that's it anyway. Devon, JoJo Parks.
The bong pipe wins. Believe it or not, I think I don't laugh when I say this. Joseph Park, X Division title.
Yeah. Can I change mine? I'm going to go with him as well.
Okay. Finals of the X Division tournament. Kenny King, Christian York, Bowman.
I'm going to say Kenny King.
Logan.
Yes, Kenny King.
Going with Kenny King on that one. That way they can go ahead and finish screwing Rob Van Dam out of the X Division title. So you're gonna if it's Kenny King versus RVD, winner is Bowman.
I'm gonna say RVD.
Brooks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with RVD as well.
I'm going Kenny King gets the X Division title tonight. Christopher Daniels versus Cowboy James Storm. Winner gets world title match on the January 24th Impact. Mabo.
Oh, Daniels.
Brooksy.
James Storm.
I'm going James Storm, and he gets screwed out of the match again.
Hold on, Eddie. I got one to add. They just added for tonight. Samoa Joe versus Mr. Anderson.
Right. I was about to get there.
Okay, I didn't know if you'd seen it yet.
Yes.
Samoa Joe or Mr. Anderson?
Samoa Joe. By disqualification because Aces and Eights comes down.
Rock Hogan.
F that. Mabo, your prediction.
Heifer, I'm running this one.
Oh, okay.
So hush. Looksy. Samoa Joe, Mr. Anderson.
I'm going to go with exactly what Eddie just said.
What did Eddie say? I wasn't paying attention.
I said Joe by DQ.
Disqualification due to Aces and Eights coming in.
I am going to say Samoa Joe as well, but I'm going to say it's going to be a clean victory. I'm going to say Aces and Eights turns their back on Mr. Anderson.
Okay, continue.
Oh, I just had that one.
Tag title. Matt Morgan, Joey Ryan versus Guerrero and Hernandez. Mabo.
I'm going to say Morgan and the Oregon take it.
Brooks.
I'm going to go with the Mexicans.
Okay.
Hernandez and Guerrero.
I'm sure they're gonna love the fact that you just referred to them as the Mexicans.
Especially considering the fact that Chavo Guerrero is actually from El Paso, Texas. From that vantage point, I'm going to go ahead and say Morgan and the Oregon get it, and that way we can turn around and put Chavo into the X Division. Doc from Aces and Eights versus Sting. Mabo.
I'm going to go Sting.
Brooks.
Oh, Stink, of course.
That was you that says it like that. Okay, thank you. Now you just played that card.
Yeah.
You just played that card, by the way. Personally, I'm going with Sting as well.
What card?
Now I know where I've read that in the last week. Triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, Bobby Roode, Mark Bowman.
I'm going with Meth Hardy.
Meth Hardy, there you go. Brooks Logan.
Yeah, Hardy will probably win. I'd like to see Austin Aries win, though.
I'm going out on a limb and say Austin Aries, even though I know they're going to put Hardy over, which really just pisses me off. I know.
Why does it piss you off?
Easy. Aries is a better champion. Rude is a better champion. Jeff Hardy is not a freaking world champion. He never has been. He never will be. He is not that echelon. I wish that the freaking television shows would quit forcing him down our throat like that. He's a great U.S. champion. Give him the TV title. Give him the X Division title. He is not a world championship caliber personality. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how they freaking say it. End of discussion for me. He just ain't it. Never has been, never will be. Great tag team wrestler. Great singles competitor. But he is not that high on the food chain. Like I said, I'm sure he's a hell of a guy backstage. I'm sure that this last year has been great work. The last few months he's been back has been great working with him. But I've just never been sold. I've never been able to invest in the idea of Jeff Hardy as a world champion.
But let me stop you right there, Gooper.
I just did stop.
I know we got to go, but here's the thing. Jeff Hardy sells merch. from necklaces to shirts to stockings to figures to DVDs to whatever. He sells merch. Merch equals money. They want to keep him happy. They want to keep him in the company. That is why he's getting this ridiculous push. Even though his contract is coming up, that is why he's probably going to end up keeping the belts, or at least be kept in the limelight for as long as possible to see if he re-signs. Will he re-sign? Who knows? If he does, then you know what? They'll still keep pushing still keep pushing him so he can be up there, so he'll be in the public eye, so he can sell what? Merch, so they can make money. Why? So they can pay him. Why? So he can sell more merch and be on TV more. If he leaves and goes to the WWE, guess what? Will it be for a limited time? Will it be, for one long-last run like he's looking for? Whatever. You don't think, though, the minute he signs that contract, the night of his, not before, the night of his debut, they are going to have at the stands Jeff Hardy T-shirts to wear. WWE will have that in motion the minute he puts ink to paper. So it's all about money. That is why he is thrown up in our faces constantly, 24/7. That and the little 13-year-old girls soak their freaking Hello Kitty panties over him. And sort of the young boys who are having questions about their sexuality too. But we're not going to talk about Eddie and his youth. So that's why he's always thrown up in our face.
And then I'll go ahead and I'll take us out with this. Hold on.
Because here's the truth about Las Vegas. The truth about the WWE is that it doesn't matter if you're the best wrestler. It doesn't matter if you're the best talker. It doesn't matter if you're the best overall performer. It doesn't matter if you make the two clowns sitting to my left on commentary look like amateur hour. There is a glass ceiling and nobody is allowed to break it. That's the simple story of this place. The more popular you are, the more money you make. The more you people cheer for any given superstar, the more opportunities you're afforded. Why do you think a guy like John Cena, who has admittedly had the worst year of his career, gets title shot after title shot after title shot after title shot? Or why a lethal grappler, why a serious submission specialist like Daniel Bryan puts a smile on his face and saddles himself, belittles himself with catchphrases. Or why a 400-pound monster, Brodus Clay, soils his hands by touching your filthy, ugly little children to get in the ring so he can shuck and jive for you. Or why an invisible child, little Jimmy, is better positioned on the flagship show, Monday Night Raw, than a workhorse like Tyson Kidd. Look, they're doing it now. You're doing it now. You're falling for everything I say. You're playing into my hands, but this is the way it is, and this is the way you want it, because this is the way you handle it. It's easy, it's saccharine, it's simple to digest, because you people can handle anything complicated. You people can't stomach anything interesting. This is the way it's been since the beginning of time. We're all here in the circus to entertain you.
The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we at 15 after the hour. Welcome back to Beyond Ringside. Fast, steady lane behind the control panel. Mark Mabo Bowman, come on back in.
I don't know. I was going to say something. I was going to make a ball reference or a testicle reference, and then I was just like, eh.
Brooks Logan, come on back in.
I don't care what Wicked Nelson says. Your transitions are great. With that last, with the CM Punk transmission, that's a great job. Transition, I mean. So I don't care what Wick says.
And Wicked
Nemesis. Wait, hold on. Let's see. The guy who hasn't really been on the show except once, and that was the end of the year. The guy who hasn't been on the show in like 5-6 months is now coming back on and kissing the ass of the host. There's nothing shady about that. Oh no, Eddie! I think your transitions are just super keen.
What cartoon character was that? Quick, dude, I can't remember.
What?
It was a cartoon character you just did. I can't remember which one.
Oh, you talking about the Beaky Buzzard?
Yeah, that's it, Beaky Buzzard. Thank you. Oh man. There you go. See, you never know what's going to happen next year on BR. Hey, Rookie, watch me pull a rabbit out of my ass. And meanwhile, there you go. Just figured I'd throw that one at you. You know, just.
Hello?
I'm thinking, therefore, take it, Mabo.
Therefore, we've got dead air.
Yeah, really. But we'd.
All right.
I'm going to go sign a contract. What about you?
You licked what?
Sign.
Anyway, a few minutes ago we much like Michael Jackson, we were touching on little things. And one of them was the firings that WWE had. Well, how's that for a transition, Brooks? Want to come kiss my butt now? This was a great transition.
Yep. Maybe it was on a period tonight.
No,
I can't win with this guy.
I'm on my exclamation point.
It's his ass.
To transition from the firings, word going around is that WWE, now he's doing his medicals, so nothing's official, but word's going around is like WWE has signed El Generico to a contract. Now, pose this to you guys. First of all, what does this mean? Because we've all seen the physique on El Generico. I only know one body even skinnier than that, and he's a nerd that wears a bow tie and works here in Birmingham. What does that mean
I know two of them.
Well, I know two of them too.
One's the nerd in a bow tie, and the other one's a inhuman fly.
Anyway, and they both garbage. Anyway, what does that have to? One, how is his? Do you think his physique is going to affect how he's carried across in WWE? Like, honestly, looking at him, there's the only thing they could do is make him a referee. And two, do you think they're going to keep the mask on him? I'm not saying they're going to. I think it would be smart to actually come up with, like what they did with CM Punk, come up with a contract or some kind of negotiations where they can use the El Generico name. Because I don't see, if they take the mask off of him, what does he have?
Nada.
He's a ginger that can speak 5 languages.
Sounds like a Swiss person who's much, much bigger that can speak 5 languages.
But seriously, that's why they hired El Generico, was because he speaks multiple languages, and they think that'd be really good for promotions and all that stuff. But what does this mean? What does this mean for El Generico's future? Brookside.
Well, I don't know. What do you think the reason is that they got him? Like you said, without the mask.
Well, I just told you one of the key signing points for him. There's always been the rumors.
Yeah, besides that.
Well, there's. Well, do you remember when they were talking about bringing up the network? What, almost 2 years ago now?
Right.
That they were going to do a cruiserweight heavy. It's kind of a little play on words, but there was going to be a cruiserweight heavy show, and they were looking to sign a lot of cruiserweights that were out on the independent scene, but obviously the network is not going to be coming to fruition anytime soon. So I don't know why they signed him, other than he's a hell of a talent. Don't get me wrong, but
right,
if you
as El Generico under the mask,
as El Generico now
doing the gimmick he does. Now
exactly.
Vince, as good as Vince McMahon is at taking people that have, as good as Vince is at creating great gimmicks, he's also had his share of failures at gimmicks. He's also had guys that made names for themselves with a certain gimmick and have totally changed that gimmick around. But in this case, with somebody like El Generico, who doesn't have your common WWE physique like we're used to seeing, he's made his name, and his popularity has come from his El Generico gimmick with the mask and everything. So, like I said, even though Vince has taken things that have worked in other places and took that person and totally turned them around, and it blew up in his face, I think in a case like this with somebody like him, you leave it alone. You signed him as what he was, so you use him as what he is and what got him as popular as he is. He's a pretty popular guy in the wrestling world. So take what's already laid out for you and just go ahead and use it within your system. And I think it could good things turn out from it.
And now before I pitch to Eddie, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. What is the key identifying aspect of El Generico? His mask. what does WWE? What do little kids buy up that you see them constantly wearing all the time? Masks. Exactly. Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio, and they're saying Sin Cara is a disappointment, which he pretty much has been. Rey Mysterio has been unreliable. That's why they turned Alberto Del Rio face and put the belt on him, because they need a Latin. They're looking for a Hispanic babyface that's going to draw in that key demographic. But if without that, that's one reason why they should keep him as El Generico. The mask. That mask is going to sell. That's what people know him as. People will be able to identify him. Because if you take off that mask, he's no different than when they signed great British wrestler Pac. He's also known as the man that gravity forgot. Sensational high flyer. I don't know what the hell his name is in NXT right now. I think it's Oliver Gray or something. I don't know. But if you take the mask off of him, not only are you losing marketing, but he's losing an identity. If you name him Thomas Timberson, nobody's going to give a crap about a skinny kid named Thomas Timberson. You think they're going to let him do the brain buster? Especially the variations he has? No. So, Eddie, what are your thoughts on the whole situation?
WWE is very hit or miss as far as signing certain styles of characters. I do respect the fact that they've given Sin Cara as many opportunities as they have. I think that he's probably...
Eddie, what was his name again?
Sin Cara.
What was his name?
Sin Cara.
What was his name?
Go away.
Sin Cara? Is he any relation to Antonio Estrada? Sin Cara. Just say Sin Cara.
Armando Estrada.
Say Sin.
Now,
which you've done a lot.
Forgive me, Father. I'm about to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
My MasterCard's going to be a little bit the worse for it, too. Sin Cara. Okay?
Sin Cara.
Are you happy now?
No.
Didn't think so. See? Leave me alone and let me have my own vices.
Sin Cara.
Like my incredibly crappy transitions.
Sin Cara.
There you go. WWE is very hit or miss when it comes to marketing and packaging of certain characters. The concept looks great on paper, but somehow between the game plan and the execution of a game plan, there are times when it goes wrong. I'm not going to say horribly wrong. I'm not going to over-dramatize it. What I'm going to say is sometimes it just doesn't work. It's like having an open-air barbecue in the middle of an F5 tornado. It ain't going to work. Once again, I respect and appreciate the fact that they've given Sin Cara as many opportunities as they have in order to try to continue to progress. I thought that when he was put with Ray, that was going to be the turning point and him be able to get everything full scale, because you have the chance to sit and work is the key word, with one of the best of all time. I'm not going to put a weight classification, and I'm not going to say pound for pound. I'm going to say that Rey Mysterio, tried and true, is one of the best of all time, and he will be remembered that way when he finally retires from this business. But the thing about it is, when you're taking someone that has a very limited gimmick, you can have the skill set of Mount Rushmore's intellectual combined knowledge as presidents. You can have the charisma. Unspeakable. I mean, but by the same token, if you are brought to the dance because of one thing and you change it to something else, a lot of the times it's going to suck. Can El Generico as El Generico flourish in WWE? Only if they recreate the Cruiserweight division. Physically, he is kind of like Tyson Kidd without the muscles. Which, Generico's a hell of a worker. He can work anything you throw at him. And I genuinely hope that before they start going, well, let's do this, and this, I hope the creative team sits back and watches some of the stuff that he's been a part of in the past. Granted, when you go to WWE, it's a whole new beginning. Yesterday doesn't count 9 times out of 10. But there are times on that 10th time when it helps to look back and realize what got your attention about somebody, and instead of trying to change it, build upon it. You've got a solid foundation in that individual. Run with it, work with it, play with it, make money with it. Bowman, continue.
Well, it's just I don't know, man. I mean, look at CM Punk. He was brought in as CM Punk. They didn't try to change his name. They let him do the straight edge gimmick. I mean, and they've tweaked it here and there. Yeah, they went a little bit in one direction with the straight edge society. Yeah, I'm not even sure what they were trying to do with the Nexus. But for the most part, he was allowed to be CM Punk. Other than a name change, Brian, and it was still very similar. Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson. He was allowed to come in and kind of, even though it was mainly after he got fired for choking some dude with a tie, Benoit, that he was allowed to, pretty much he was Daniel Bryan. He was allowed to do his submission holds and all that. So, looking at the record of independent wrestlers that have been brought in and letting them keep the similar gimmicks, and another one is Antonio Cesaro. Yes, they changed his name, but he still did the very European gimmick, which he had his Claudio for as long as I followed him. I'm just afraid that if they take the mask off, he's just another. This time it will not be he literally will be a nameless face, because he will have no identifying characteristic, and that's what I'm afraid of. Because there's nothing funnier than a skinny white guy who's a ginger wearing a mask from Canada who thinks he's Mexican. That's hilarious. It's as funny as when Dave Chappelle was a blind black Klansman.
Rick James, bitch.
Oh, you broke the rules. Anyway, so I mean, I just wanted to, just get your perspectives on what you thought about that.
Like I said, properly played, I think it could be a good thing. Improperly played, it's going to be another catastrophe by WWE Creative. I'm changing topics for a second. There's something I've been wanting to ask you about. You've been keeping track of WrestleFest, the event coming up in the very near future. Have you seen any recent updates about it?
Well, first of all, listeners, don't let Eddie fool you. I haven't been keeping up with it that much.
Oh, you've been telling me more than I knew, and I've been trying to keep track of it.
I have been keeping a close eye on it. I was trying to find
the official page.
Yeah.
Brooks, do you know what we're talking about on that? Have you heard about it?
I have not. Fill me in.
Mabo?
No, it's not. Is it WrestleFest, or is it? You sure it's just not National Wrestling Day?
National Wrestling Day. That's what it was.
Okay, that's why I was like I was like trying to figure out. You had me googling WrestleFest, and I was like, that's an old video game.
That and something else. NationalProWrestlingDay.com. February the 2nd, Derby Ink Gardens in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And I'll let you take it from there and let Brooks and everybody else who doesn't know about it.
Well, if you didn't, shame on yourselves there. But it's like Eddie said, February 2nd, 2013. There's just so many companies coming together, both wrestling and non-wrestling. Smart Mark Video, I know they're going to have their hands in it. Filsinger Games, which they do wonderful games. I know Chikara has one, and I want to say Shimmer might have one. It's either Shimmer or Shine, or maybe it's WSU. Anyway, you got companies like Chikara, Ring of Honor, Kaiju Big Battle, the International Wrestling Cartel, Evolve, Battle War. One I'm really interested in is Wrestling is Fun. Beyond Wrestling, no relation to us. Wrestling is Awesome. And just so many more are going to come together in a summit.
Yeah.
A meeting of the superpowers, if you will. Like I said, there's going to be two different cards. There's going to be an afternoon card at 1 p.m. and an evening card at 7 p.m. They've already had matches signed up. Each company's going to have representatives to put on each match so far signed. For the afternoon card at 1 p.m., presented by Wrestling is Art, you're going to have Mike Quackenbush versus Colt Cabana, which, come on, dude. Really? it does not get any better than Quack versus Colt. If you have never seen any of the Quack versus Colt matches, I want you to take your face, rub it up and down on a cheese grater, and then go stick it in a mixture of lemon juice, salt, and rubbing alcohol. Or just sign up to have a match at IWA Deep South. It's going to be about the same.
There you go.
Match number 2, presented by Pro Wrestling. What was it? I can't even see that. They really need to work on their graphics. I believe it's PWI. Well, I believe it's PWI Insider or PWInsider.com.
It is.
It's going to be the Ray de Voladores match, which normally is a Chikara thing. Too Cold Scorpio, JoJo Bravo, Oliver Grimsley, or Grimsley, depending on where you're from, and Shane Hollister. Now, we all know Too Cold from back in the day. Tremendous talent. Of the other 3, I've only ever heard of Shane Hollister, but I know it's pretty good. It's going to be a good match. PWI's got another match. I don't know what that match number 3 is going to be, but it's going to involve St. Louis Anarchy, Battle War, Metro Pro, and more of the PWI, yada, yada, yada. Who cares? If you don't put something up, I'm not going to read it. Suck it. Match 4.
You just did that.
Huh? Sure did.
You just dropped the F-bomb.
I said suck it.
Oh, suck it. I thought you said F it. We both thought you said F it.
Potty mouth. Potty mouths.
Match number 4. Nice one.
I doubt the belts are going to be on the line, but Ring of Honor is their little addition to the show, the 1 p.m. show, Scum, taking on the Briscoes.
Which should be a hellacious match.
Oh, yeah. One I'm kind of interested in as far as the next match, match number 5 from Wrestling is Fun, Juan Francisco de Coronado versus Saturnine. Saturnine, the lovely lethal luchador from Chikara. Had a chance to meet her back in October when Chikara came to Alabama, and oh, that ass. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
I would like, since Eddie loves to put unnecessary accents on names, I would love for Eddie to say, and I'm going to see if I can get him on the show. Eddie, say Juan Francisco de Coronado.
My friend, that would be Juan Francisco de Coronado.
No, I said say it. Don't be a racist. Match number 6 from Beyond Wrestling.
Bitch.
Don't get mad at me because you're a racist.
I'm not a racist, you dork.
Calm down, racist. Good friend of the show, Sugar Dunkerton and Aaron Eric will be taking on Eric Corvus and Chris Dickinson. CWF Mid-Atlantic.
Eric Royal. Eric Royal, yeah.
Yes, and they haven't been in Chikara in so long. But Los Chivas, the Chiva Kid, anybody that dressed up like a goat and run around, you got my vote. You're awesome. Taking on Rick Converse and Trevor Lee, gentleman we've had on the show from Wrestling with Respect. He's also up in Combat Zone. Drew Gulak taking on Francis O'Rourke. And Kaiju Big Battle. We got to get in touch with Gavin. Dr. Cube and Sekhmet will be taking on Neo Terran and American Beetle. And then Absolute Intense Wrestling, we've had them on before, right?
Matter of fact, I do believe we have. Ethan Page with Silesia Sparks taking on Josh Alexander. Now, you mentioned the Wrestling is Respect match, right?
The Wrestling is Respect?
Yeah.
What?
Drew Gulak, Francis O'Rourke?
Yes.
Okay. And, yeah, we do need to get in touch with Gavin about the Kaiju match.
Yes, but, I mean, that right there, that's 10 matches. 10 matches.
Now, I've got 9 on my list.
That's just in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's the afternoon match.
No, there is. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But no, there is 10 matches because there's the unannounced one from PWI Insider, Metro Pro, Battle War, St. Louis Anarchy, and CTWE. They just haven't put anything up yet.
Now,
so yeah, and that's just the afternoon.
Now,
Eddie, would you like to take the evening for the sake of time?
No, well, I will in just a second. Now, this is actually for those who cannot make it up to Philadelphia, and that's going to be at the Derby Ink Gardens, 802 Spring Garden Street in Philadelphia. I've never been to Philly, so I can't tell you whether or not it's easy to get to. I'm not going to lie. Afternoon card kicks off at 1 p.m., the evening card at 7 p.m. This will be available on an iPay-per-view basis for only $14.99, $15. So this is going to be one of those situations where, you know, it includes unlimited VOD after the event. You can replay it as many times as you like.
Now, Eddie, when is it? When is this again?
This is going to be the one that I've got is Saturday, February the 2nd, 2013. It's just a couple of weeks away up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And it's going to be an iPay-per-view.
Yes. It is available through smvod.com. You can go to nationalprowrestlingday.com. There is a link to where you can click to catch it. Now, the SMVOD site is where I was looking at as far as the afternoon card. They only had 9 matches shown up. As far as the evening time matches, oh my God, this is going to be a great show and then some.
Now, hold on. The reason why I ask is because like I said, I've got 10 matches. One they haven't filled the spot on.
That's the same over here.
Huh?
That same thing.
Yeah. So there's going to be 10 matches total. But here's the thing, before we move on to the evening, here's the thing that we've yet to even touch on. What are those words? Are you on the actual page?
Yes.
NationalProWrestlingDay.com?
Yes, I called it out on air.
Okay. What do those words say where it says NationalProWrestlingDay.com and then underneath it says on 2/2/13, let's celebrate the sport we all love. What is that phrase underneath right before you get to the times there, Eddie?
I'll take it.
Take it, Brooks.
Admission to this event is free.
Now, and, of course, in parentheses, all seats are first come, first served. Now, Brooks, is that just for the evening show?
It says the event, so I'm going to sit here and assume that it's both shows.
Well, now look, back to the afternoon card, and it says the same exact thing.
So, for free, you're going to get 20 matches.
This is going to be a day.
All day. You're getting 20 freaking matches from stars of Chikara, Ring of Honor, Evolve, Kaiju Big Battle. Wrestling is fun. Wrestling is art. You know, all the women's wrestling superstars uncensored, that, you know, with the chicks and the broads and their boobs and stuff. Gonna get all that for free. Why?
Not to mention... Go ahead.
Huh?
Not to mention...
No, you're not getting the boobs for free. Don't sit there.
No kidding.
No, we didn't.
Those normally cost about $5,000.
But do you know why they're doing this? It's to put the spotlight on the world of pro wrestling and not just what you see on TV, but the stuff that you might not see. But it's also because I see it as a thank you to the fans for all the years of support and love.
Yes.
That's why they're not charging anything. I mean, if they wanted to hold, a big superpower summit, they could have charged $20, $30, and it would have been worth it. Easy. It would have been worth it. But no, both cards are free. And speaking of both cards, Taco Del Casa, Eddie Wardo there. You want to take evening card?
Yeah, the Hot Wing Hot Shots ready to go. Chikara in the first offering. Los Ice Creams and Fist taking on the Colony in 3.0. You're going to have a special match featuring the stars from Wrestling is Heart and School of Rock Class Wars. Evolve Pro Wrestling going to have an offering that night. The NYWC is going to have a match showing that night. Wrestling is Awesome. Devastation Corporation versus Proud Oak and Thunder Frog. I think I now have one of my favorite new names in this business. Drink! Fighting Spirit Wrestling will be represented on the nighttime card. International Wrestling Cartel is going to be featured on the nighttime card. Women's Superstars Uncensored. Marty Bell, their Spirit Champion, takes on, and I hope we got to get her on the air just so I can get a pronunciation of her name. Isabel? I hope so. From there, Resistance Pro Wrestling will be featured on the nighttime edition. The tournament final from Pro Wrestling Insider with Ray Voladores. Shut up, Mabo.
When you can't put the spin on it, you freak out.
No, you made me start thinking.
Oh, God. I thought I smelled something burning.
You did. But from that vantage point, yes. I mean, you've got matches during the daytime, 10 matches during the daytime, 10 matches at nighttime, and you've got stars coming in from some of the best, and I really hate to use this word, indie pro wrestling promotions around. I mean, think about it. International Wrestling Cartel, a lot of people know about them. WSU, Women's Superstars Uncensored, runs great shows all the way around. Resistance Pro Wrestling, you've heard about them. Fighting Spirit Wrestling, Wrestling is Awesome. The New York Wrestling Connection, that's why I was trying to remember what NYWC stood for. We've had somebody from them on before. Gabe Sapolsky and Evolve Pro Wrestling, we've had Gabe on with us before. I would like to set it up, and I'm sitting back and say, we've got 2 weeks before this event hits. I'm
already on it.
Thank you.
You got to get Sapolsky, I'll work on everybody else.
Say what?
You got to get Sapolsky all work on.
Somebody
Wrestling is fun in Chikara.
Okay, but also from that vantage point, let's talk about Dragon Gate for a second there, since we're talking about Gabe Sapolsky. DGUSA's got an event coming up in Huntington Park, California on Saturday night, January the 26th. From that vantage point, let me see. I want to say, oh, God. Any other time I could have this pulled up in 5 seconds flat. Oh, by the way, in January 27th in Huntington Park, California, the Young Bucks, Nick and Mark Jackson, are back with DGUSA. So, and Evolve is also going to be going to have something to do with the upcoming WrestleCon. So, let me see. A champion will be crowned April. I'm over on DGUSA.tv, and I'm trying to pull up the news and see what they've got coming up. April 5th through 7th. God, make sure to put WrestleCon on your calendar for live events with DGUSA, Evolve, CZW, Shimmer, and Chikara, $5 Wrestling, Kaiju Big Battle. Tickets are available now for this event. Once again, that's April 5th through the 7th. And you know that DGUSA is going to have great price point options available. And like I said, just some of the companies that are going to be are invested in this event, April 5 through 7. Evolve, DGUSA, of course, same company, CZW, Kaiju Big Battle, Shimmer, Chikara, Dragon Gate, $5 Wrestling. I mean, there's some upcoming events that real wrestling fans, if you can find a way to get to these shows, damn it, you owe it to yourself. You heard me at the first part of the show. There are some great events going on. I was last night at the Strike Hard Production Show in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Once again, David, Matt, thank you to everybody with Strike Hard for SHP 21. I had a phenomenal time. We had a great crowd there last night, and I'm willing to calculate it's probably about 700 people in the Killer Buzz Arena. And, you know, to see a crowd turn out like that, and Strike Hard's already got their next event ready to go, and that's going to be Saturday, February the 2nd in Birmingham, back at the Zamora. And I've already spoken with David Elder. We're going to have him on next week during the 7 o'clock hour, and we'll work on that timetable because we might do a special edition on a Tuesday night. You never know, since it is mixed martial arts.
You need me to go cover that one?
Chances are, well, you never know. There's some questions.
Let me know.
questions will be answered, and those answers will have questions. Thank you, Ted Guinness. I stole the line. But revolving around February 2nd, because Global Championship Wrestling for the wrestling fans of the Birmingham area has got a show coming up in Palmerdale, Alabama. It's the JYD Memorial Tag Tournament. So, you know, there's some great events in wrestling and mixed martial arts all around the country. And now that I'm adjusting my schedule, we're working to try to get everything put back in place to start rebuilding the calendar. I'm trying. I swear to you, I'm trying. But unfortunately, I'm the only one who's working right now on the website, since I have the program to do it. And if I gave it to Mark, I'm sure he'd be able to do it too.
No, I wouldn't.
Just bailed me out on that one, didn't you? Thanks, Wigbert. I don't even know where that came from. New word, Wigbert. But
probably because you're drinking again.
No, I'm on antibiotics. I can't drink right now, not until next weekend. Believe me, I had a chance to go to the post-show party with Strike Hard last night and with Vicky and a lot of the folks with Strike Hard. I really wanted to go, but I know me. There's going to be a beer in my hand, and my doctor said no alcohol till... So... Nope, that crap ain't gonna happen. But yeah, you heard there's some people that we're working on as far as the National Wrestling Day that we're going to try to get on to talk a little bit more about their particular contribution to the event. And you know, we might just try to figure something out as far as the timing goes. Like I said, we'll talk off there and see if we can get everything put together. We're going at 15 minutes before the top of the hour. I have not checked updates on the pay-per-view because frankly, it's only an alleged pay-per-view. Now with TNA cutting back to 4 pay-per-views throughout the year, segue setup. Is that going to be in the best interest of the company to start working on their big 4 and the minor pay-per-views, kind of like the In Your House series? I haven't even heard what the price points are going to be for the pre-recorded pay-per-views yet. Mark, have you?
I want to say, and you would ask me this while I'm trying to type up and send emails.
Brooks, have you heard?
I heard like $15.
No. Look, let me say this. And this is something I'm going to jump on, and y'all can agree or disagree if you like. And Brooks, I'll go to you first since Mark's typing. When TNA Wrestling, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, first started, they were doing a weekly pay-per-view offering 2 hours for $10. Those weekly pay-per-views, a bunch of which I still have, on VHS because I didn't have a DVD recorder back then. I didn't have the money.
Oh, Eddie, before you get started, I got it real quick. $14.95 for the Friday night pay-per-views. Genesis and Lockdown will still be $34.95. Slammiversary and all live pay-per-views that follow after that will be $39.95. Bound for Glory will be priced at $44.95. Are you effing kidding me?
I'm not getting it.
You're putting Bound for Glory. And don't get me wrong, I know isn't that their big one or whatever?
That's supposed to be their big one.
You're still saying that it's almost WrestleMania-worthy price?
Hell no.
Seriously? Suck it, Dixie. Suck it. Let me teabag you and Hogan both. Suck it.
Only if you let Bubba the Love Sponge tape it.
But yeah, that's price. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, but the 2-hour pay-per-views that they had before they first had their national television breakthrough, or even regional television, those were quality events. Now, granted, the writing team was different, the talent was different, and that's what I miss about Impact. That's what I miss about TNA. To do a weekly pre-recorded pay-per-view for $15? No. If it was $10, I would consider it because I have been a fan of TNA for a while. Yes, I've been in this business over 25 years on and off, and I'm still a fan of this business, the sport of professional wrestling. Drink. Sorry, forgot to do that. The drinking game, by the way, kids, for those of you just now joining us, is the factor of any time one of us on this round table says, this business, drink. So, and normally it's me that says it because I'm the one stuck in the mode of saying it, and every once in a while I have to crash the mode and change things. And there are times when I'm just feeling the mode, plain and simple. But, is it worth a Friday night pay-per-view $15, considering what we've seen on free TV from Impact as of late? Brooks Logan.
Well, no, it's not at all. Help me to understand something. I saw they're changing 4 pay-per-views a year, right?
4 majors, yes.
4 major pay-per-views a year. Now, what is it that you're talking about with the $15 one? What is this? This is something they're doing.
I'll take it real quick, Eddie.
Go ahead.
Long story short, Brooks. I guess the other 8 pay-per-views are going to be, first of all, pre-taped. They've already done 2. They've already got 2 in the books, and they're going to have themes. The first 2, one of them is going to be, it's called the Extravaganza. It's both current and old X Division talent coming in. There's, like I said, they've already taped it. The results are up. And it will, Eddie, what did I say the date was? 4 or 5?
Oh, God, I had it up a minute ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, like I said, I think it's 4 or 5. And it's, there's going to be the Ultimate Escape Asylum, whatever match. Then the next one is going to be called the Joker's Wild, where it's very similar to the old Battle Bowl Lethal Lottery, where names are put in a drum, tag team tournament. Then the winning tag teams go into what they say gauntlet. But from the way I read the results, it was like it was down to a final 4. I thought a gauntlet was, somebody comes in, 2 people start, one person gets beat, another person comes in. You just keep going down the. I thought that was a gauntlet. Raven always made Tommy Dreamer run those gauntlets. So, but no, this gauntlet looks like it was a freaking battle royal. So, those are going to be the first 2. I know they're going to do one with knockouts. So
the other 8 pay-per-views that they usually have are going to be what? They're going to be turned into. They still going to be doing them once a month, or?
They're going to tape a group of them. They're going to tape, like I said, they've already taped 2. Give me a minute here, and I'll go ahead. TNA X Extravaganza is going to be on 4/5, and then Joker's Wild is going to be 5/13. They taped both of those yesterday, so that kind of tells you what's going on. Where did it go?
What's the change? What's the change in the schedule? Is what I'm asking. Is they want, as of right now, they run a pay-per-view every month, right?
Yeah. So they're only running the schedule. There's only going to be 4 pay-per-views live. on a Sunday.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then the
Terrible
other
idea.
Terrible, I know. Then the other 8 are going to be, I guess, filmed maybe 2 at a time on a Saturday, and then shown in between the other 2 pay-per-views. For example, this is some of the things that they're called one-night only taped pay-per-views. You got TNA Extravaganza and the Joker's Wild, which we talked about. Then there's going to be Hardcore Justice 2 and ECW reunion. Then there's going to be the TNA 10 reunion, where it starts from the early days of TNA face-off inside the 6-sided ring. So they're bringing back the 6-sided ring for that. So, like I said, honestly, some of these, I hate that they're going to be so far off, because some of them, the concepts look really good and really interesting. There's going to be one called Huh?
So that's what I was about to say. Some of the concepts sound great. I'd have a problem with a taped pay-per-view.
I trust me, I do too. But there's going to be TNA Knockouts Knockdown. It's going to be a one-night knockout tournament with the first round being all stipulation matches, and then the final 4 is going to be a test their stamina match. Oh my God, I hope there's scissoring involved. Then there's going to be TNA International Incident. It's a one-night tournament featuring talent from the United States, India, Mexico, Ireland, Canada, Germany, Japan, and the UK, with the winner earning a title shot. Then there's going to be an X Division World Cup. There's going to be the TNA World Cup of Wrestling, where it's 4 teams, each captained by a TNA wrestler, or each captain featuring a heavyweight wrestler, a tag team, and an X Division. And so then it's going to end with a 2-ring triple chance battle royal. Seriously. But here's the schedule. I know you were asking about it, Brooks. January 13th, today, Genesis Live. Then they're not having another one until March 10th, which is going to be Lockdown. It's going to be live. Then April 5th is the X Division show. May 3rd is the Joker's Wild. Then Live Slammiversary. Then Tape Show in July. Tape Show in August. I'm sorry, Slammiversary is going to be June. So they're not having a pay-per-view February at all. Tape Show July, Tape Show August, Tape Show September, Bound for Glory live in October, and then November and December is going to be tape shows.
Well, back to Eddie's question with what they're putting on TV for free right now. The only way I see 4 pay-per-views a year, 4 live pay-per-views a year, working at the price that they're wanting to charge. You said $39.95, I believe is what you said?
Yeah.
With the on-TV products that they're giving us right now, that's a complete and utter ripoff, in my opinion. If you're going to have the 4 pay-per-views charging that much, then you've got to step your game up as a wrestling company. And you got to give us something that we would have not think twice about paying that type of money for. As of right now, as it stands right now, I wouldn't pay 95 cents for a TNA pay-per-view with the on-air product right now. It's, in my opinion, they're a complete and utter failure. And I'm not a TNA hater. The thing is, I'm somebody that wants to see TNA succeed. I've said this on the show a bunch of times. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them. I know they'll never be WWE. I get that. But I want to see them up there on at some points in the year contending with WWE and the product they put out. It's not because of lack of talent. It's not because a lack of I don't know what it's a lack of, but they don't seem to get it.
Perception.
I guess is what I'm trying to say. You what?
It's a lack of perception and a lack of vision. Look,
it is. It really is. It's
and I'm not a TNA hater either.
They have there, and some of the things they get going, they should be doing a lot better, and they should be a lot further along than what they are. And that's just my opinion on TNA.
Fire Hogan, get out of the impact zone, change your settings. You've got some high dollar talent. You got some high dollar talent in there that you can actually stand to get rid of. And I'm sorry, that's being honest about it. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
And legitimately speaking, when front office expenses supersede in-ring talent expenses, something's wrong with the company.
Mm-hmm.
And look, and I'm not comparing myself to Terry Bollea in any capacity, by the way. But I would do a better job as general manager, and you're damn right I wouldn't be having this Hogan Knows Best BS on television. Look, people don't tune into a damn wrestling show to watch Hogan Knows Best just as much as I'm not going to tune into Jeopardy to watch Kim Kardashian. And it's gotten to that point. I like a lot of the people that help TNA come to the dance. I miss people like Chris Sabin, Petey Williams, Sanjay Dutt. I have a world of respect for AJ Styles, for Kaz, for Chris Daniels, Bobby Roode, James Storm, the people that helped build TNA, that helped build Impact Wrestling. But when they started getting this wild-ass idea to start bringing, hey, Vince, just let this person go so we can bring them in and try to make some money with them. Guess what, stupid? It don't always work. The biggest success that you've had on that, in my humble opinion, I'm not even going to say it. The best success you've had in that regard was Kurt Angle. Even with the baggage that he brought with him. And yes, I was one of the ones who was ready to violently retch, barf, throw up, regurgitate, and have the crap with Kurt, Karen, and Jeff Jarrett. Lord, please forgive me for what I'm about to say, but it was the drizzling shits. It genuinely was. I don't care about the drama. If I want drama, I'm going to wait till January the 28th and watch Dallas. May Larry Hagman rest in peace, one of my favorite villains of all time. Actually, the best television villain of all time. If I want drama, I'll watch Arrow, which is now back on the CW, thankfully. I watch Impact, I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown for the same reason that I got in this business. Drink. For the in-ring action, the physicality. Women in this business who know how to work, men in this business who know how to work, who know how to put together a great match to catch my attention, keep my attention, and keep me captivated through the match. It doesn't have to be the flippy-dippy high spots every 2 seconds. It doesn't. You know, some of the stuff that they did with Kaz and Daniels has been cool. And some of it's been funny. Like Daniels and the Appletini. I'm having flashbacks to Scrubs. Zach Braff's character. I think properly done, adding comedy into a professional wrestling program is good because tongue-in-cheek works so well. It's just like I asked Nigel McGuinness when he was on with us. It still feels funny saying that. Mr. McGuinness, thank you for coming on. The best comedy in the world in a format such as Impact, Raw, SmackDown, ROH, it doesn't matter, is tongue-in-cheek comedy. It's the subtle stuff that can make people sit back and go, cool, funny. Not everything has to be, to use the Southern colloquialism, a knee slapper.
See, if I interrupt.
Go ahead.
See, you know, I like a little drama on my wrestling show. I love a lot of good in-ring ability on my wrestling show. I think that's why WWE's Attitude Era was so good. It was the perfect mixture of great wrestling, great talent, great storylines, great drama, and even great comedy. I also say that's why WCW with Nitro and their run was so good at their time. NWO coming in, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, when they come in, builds the drama. And you've also got your cruiserweight division that was built up with great in-ring ability. But you can't rely, like TNA relies way too much, like you just said, with when they have the Kurt Angle, Karen Angle, Jeff Jarrett.
Barf.
there was too much emphasis put on that. It's got to blend, and it's got to be a cohesive unit, and it's got to go in. It's got to be a natural flow.
Yes.
Of all those combined. That's what makes a great wrestling show. And I really don't think since the Attitude Era and since WCW folded, I don't think we've seen that out of any company that just has the perfect combination of all those things, where they all just go in a pot and just melt together and work out so great. Have a great drama, have great wrestling ability. And for TNA, it's not that the factors aren't there. You've got the talent. You can make the storylines. You can have that cohesive unit of all those things blended together. That makes, what makes wrestling, why I started and watched wrestling, fell in love with wrestling, had all those things come together. And I don't think we've seen that since Nitro, since the Attitude Era. And like you said, it's either they put too much emphasis on the drama part of it that's not needed. I don't need to see, like you were talking about with the Jarretts and Angle and all that. It's not needed. That much of it's not needed. If you catch what I'm saying. I think if you just you got to have the perfect combination of all that together, and I don't think nobody's put it together in a long time.
No, they don't. Fellas, normally right about now, actually about 8 minutes ago, we would have hit last call, but we actually got on a really good tangent and topic. And by the way, for the record, Daryl, let me go ahead and say this. First off, to everybody who's been coming through the chat room this evening over at BeyondRingside.com, Ali Doll Cause, Daryl, and everybody who's been anonymous, thank you for watching in the chat room, typing in the chat room, and listening through .com. Actually, TNA was doing the X Division World Cup before Territory League was actually created, to my knowledge of the timelines. So at that point, because they had the World League or the World Division X Cup, where they had different people representing a next division tournament, different areas of the country or different areas of the world, whether it be UK, Germany, Japan, Mexico, China, Canada, Mississippi, Mexico. So like I said, you had different, as well as of course a contingent from the United States. So, I mean, I remember that far back as far as when they started doing the World Cup for the X Division. So I think it was actually being done as a tournament on Impact before Territory League was created. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. And that's something that I haven't heard anything about as of late. And I'd like to find out a little bit more about what's going on if the Territory League is still active in the United States domestically. I know a good friend of ours here on Beyond Ringside, Scotty Matthews, was working to try to get involved with it. Rikishi was a very instrumental part of Territory League. So, tell you what, we're going to go ahead and get ready to take this thing home at 5 minutes after the top of the hour. Cast members here on BR, you can find on Facebook, Twitter, all of the above. Mark Mabo Bowman, you can find him at MA_BO over on Twitter. Mark Bowman over on Facebook. I believe it is Mabo XXL. Wicked Nemesis, find him at Wicked Nemesis over on Twitter. You can find the fan page, The Wicked Nemesis Enoch Tessarian, over on Facebook. Go over and like him on Facebook. Also, Wicked is the host of the To Be Determined show, which airs Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, right here on BeyondRingside.com. Be sure to follow the To Be Determined show on Twitter at the TBD show. Run that all together. THETBD show over on Twitter. Wicked Nemesis hosting. Multi-time NWA Women's World Champion Tasha Simone co-hosting. You can also catch Mad Dog Matt Denton, Smark Rage with the Smarks Rage. Corey, always good to hear from you, man. And I have the privilege of producing that show. And once again, we go live every Wednesday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 7 Pacific, right here on BeyondRingside.com. I have a bombshell that I'm going to release next week as it pertains to Beyond Ringside and the Best of Beyond Ringside 24/7, which is available through BeyondRingside.com, also on the Shoutcast Radio Network. Brooks Logan, come on in. Shameless plugs real quick.
Same as usual, Twitter, at Brooks Logan, BROOKS, Logan, LOGAN. You can also search that name on Facebook, and I'm on both of those, and that's about all the plugs I have. I'm waiting. When are me and Mabo going to have our own show produced by Fast Eddie Lane?
Y'all talk about that one.
Be a good tag team right there.
I really think it would, and
I'm just kidding. Actually, I'd like to thank you for letting me return to the show. It's also be my last night on the show because of Mabo being so mean to me this evening. I cannot work with him, obviously. He's a jerk. And, no, I'm just kidding.
That's why I sat over here smoking my cigarette. I was going to let you run. But
no, I'm just kidding. Definitely glad to be back on with you guys. I thoroughly enjoy this.
Definitely. Oh, and by the way, once again, I said it on Twitter, and I'll go ahead and say it by voice. Hey, Clay, still think it's a trap? It was good to see Cosper over in the chat room earlier this evening also, because of everything going on and me being so scattered at this point. I've been working so hard I have been in the process of completely rebuilding the music computer that I use, which is technically Monitor 2. I've been reloading a whole lot of stuff, resetting a whole lot of stuff, reconverting a whole lot of stuff. We've got some deals in the works right now to where you will be hearing some brand new musics here on Beyond Ringside. And hopefully I'll have that finalized this coming week. So now the original 5:30 intro will still be the same. The 6 o'clock top of the hour will still be the same, and maybe the 7 o'clock top of the hour, all time central, by the way, may still be the same. But there are some new musics that I really am getting into that I'm trying to get the final permissions in order to be able to use them legally here on BR. Even though they're royalty free, I want to do everything the right way. And yes, we use Kiss Take It Off of the intro for the final segment. That is going to change. We used for a long time Climatized by The Prodigy, which is available on the CD Fat of the Land and Prodigy's Greatest Hits. Order through Amazon. Thanks for playing, and I may just bring back my personal Amazon site. You never know. By the way, I'd like to invite everybody to check out FastEddieLane.com when you get a chance to, L-A-Y-N-E. Also, got the players for Beyond Ringside 24/7 and the best of over on my personal site as well. Been adding some new photographs, been bringing back some vintage photographs, and I just recently stumbled across the photograph of myself, Brooks, Wicked, Mabo, and Tunzi from the Alabama Wrestling Alliance show that Sherry Carter hosted last year. And that one's going to be going up on mypersonal.com very soon and probably over on Facebook. And I'll go ahead and tag y'all in it when I put it up on FB.
Definitely.
But like I said, to everybody who's been listening, everybody over in the chat tonight, thank you so much for coming in. I finally got a chance to read through some of the comments. And I didn't get a chance to. I'm going to try next time around to pay a little bit better attention to the chat. Y'all deserve the attention, and I do appreciate y'all taking the time to come in there. I really do. Ustream chat room was open, but unfortunately I was not able to get it loaded. So, for the record, like I said, you can listen through Ustream mobile applications available on all smartphone and tablet formats. And plus, if you click the link, I believe a good friend of mine over on Twitter made the statement that he was able to click the Ustream link on his iPhone, and it brought up QuickTime on his iPhone or his iPad. I think it was iPhone. But thank you for that piece of information. Greatly appreciated. And thank you to everybody.
I know it does.
Huh?
On my iPhone, it does that. So.
Let me see. Hold on a second. Okay, Mabo's working to get Gavin Loudspeaker on right now as we speak, so I know he's working on that one. So hopefully we'll be able to get something in the works. Keep your eye, like I said, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live is the Facebook fan page. There's a lot of stuff that goes up as an exclusive. It'll go up probably a day before it goes up on the Facebook Friends page. So, like I said, if you're already our friend on Facebook, please pop over to the fan page, click like. It only takes a second. Subscribe to the feed, and we'll keep everybody posted. Mark Grayson, thank you for setting up the 5-minute mark, the Georgia Wrestling Report. Great to hear from you this week, and that is going to be a regular feature. I want to go ahead and put this out to basically all the way across the board. You don't have to be in the business. You can be in the business either way. Drink. That's a double shot. Ha! Gotcha. If you want to join us in setting up a state report, Georgia, of course, in the very capable hands of Mark Grayson with Georgia Wrestling Fans, also works with a number of the promotions over there. We're looking for correspondence in all 50 states, as well as Canada, Mexico, and around the world. All our request is make it around 5 minutes, don't run over, and keep it pertinent, keep it topical, and let us know what's going on in different areas in your home state. Like I said, if get with some of the promoters and find out what's going on, and we would love to have, like I say, submit me a demo, beyondringside@gmail.com, and if, like I said, we'll put it together. This is a free thing that I'm doing to try to help people get the word out about upcoming shows. From that vantage point, also, we are now in a position to where I'm very happy with the new formatting of the show, and our top and bottom of the hour breaks are now available for commercial time. So if you would like to have your business sponsoring Beyond Ringside and as a corporate sponsor through commercials, give me a buzz, let me know, shoot me a message, beyondringside@gmail.com. It is just that easy. Folks, we're going to go ahead and call it. I want to go ahead and say thank you once again to my tag team all the way across the board. Brooks Logan, Mark Mabo Bowman, Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, Mark Grayson, thank you for the Georgia Wrestling Report, and a huge thank you to Nigel McGuinness for coming on with us this evening. Still sounds funny saying that, and I'm genuinely very appreciative. He will be back with us again in the very near future. Folks, we're going to be back at it 1 week from tonight, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, and 3:30 Pacific. I know there's something I wanted to say right now, but I can't remember what it is, so keep your eyes open. I'll probably post it on Twitter in a little while. Thanks again for joining us. For Mark Mabo Bowman, for the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, for Brooks Logan,
For After Elaine. No, thank you very much again for having me on, man. I surely appreciate this, and look forward to being on next week.
You got it, brother. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane, saying until next time, join us next week as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.